Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream today, the 19th of November 2020. 33 minutes past 5 here in the evening, United Kingdom. And here we are back in the ZIBO Mod 737. Just about finished recovering from the Cross the Pond stream on Saturday. An epic flight that was. A incredible, only 5 hours 20-minute flight from Boston to Dublin with a record-breaking butter. Go check out the last stream. I think it was a minus 15 or something. Absolutely crazy. Been very busy apart from that. Sunday I went flying to the Canary Islands in real life, which was great. Today I had my annual safety training course at work as well, which is why I've had no streams before and been preparing for that. But that's all done now, and I'm now not doing anything work related or flying aircraft for the next 2 to 3 weeks because of the furlough and the fact the flights are being down. So we're going to be doing loads of streams in the next 2 to 3 weeks to keep yourselves entertained. So apart from that, I hope you're doing very well. We have here today Paul Curran says evening captain. Good evening to Brendan McCreet as well. Night flights are the best. Yes, I thought for today's flight we'll do complete night flights, live time, live weather. Of course, we'll discuss the route very shortly. Burak's here as well. We're not too far away from Burak in Turkey this evening as well. Avgeek Neil's looking for the weather in Edinburgh. Bulges Fullerton says hello as well. I see you've got 4 stripes. You might have had 4 stripes for a while now as well. We've got Cam A321 morning from LA debating if I can fly on VATSIM and manage work at the same time or not. I'm sure you could do that, but it should require your full attention. Anyway, for this evening's flight, we are in Athens, the beautiful Fly Tampa scenery. It wasn't that long ago we were actually in Athens, but there was a VATSIM event that took my eye, or took my attention yesterday, which is why we're doing this particular stream, which is the weekly, let me get this right, is it Aphrodite, the Greek god? They're doing Aphrodite Greek flying in the Island of Cyprus into Larnaca. It's also an airport we've been to only once, and that was in the MD-80 some time ago, but I thought it'd be great to take part in this event this evening, and I thought, well, why not, let's just go from Athens, because I have the scenery. It's a lovely big international airport, very likely to have ATC this evening anyway, and of course Larnaca has full ATC as per the event later on. Wicked. So in the latest public version of the ZIBO mod, which is 344.10, a few subtle changes compared to the last one, which was 344.8, just some fine tuning. L now has been fixed here. This is aircraft on VATSIM here on its own. It's a TNT Cargo 737. Very cool. So yeah, we'll see what he's been up to, but I think there'll be hardly any changes compared to the last version there. We've got a couple of people joining us on this fleet. We've got a couple of Alpaca Airways, our virtual airline, already here. We've got on this remote apron there. We have an Asian Greek A321. We've got Alpaca Airways A350, Turkish Airways 737, Ryanair 737. Here's us on Stan Bravo 05. Here we've got old 737-800 rocking our old livery, a Finnair A330. Look at me, I'm like a little spotter here. And also another Ryanair 737 as well. We've got a few people on the remote stands here too, so plenty of people joining us along, hopefully on this nice sector to Larnaca. Right, anyway, let's get the show on the road. I'll zoom on over to our Alpaca Airways 737, which is looking absolutely beautiful here. There we are. Nice little spin of a terminal. As I said, Stan Bravo 05. We're going to simulate taking 175 passengers to Larnaca, of course, in as realistic possible, as we do with all the X-Plane 11 streams in the ZIBO Mod 737. Cool, right, let's jump on into the flight deck. I've not touched anything at all, so batteries coming on, GPUs on the bus, electric hydraulic pumps popping on as well. Landing gear lever is 6 green lights, and then we check all the aircraft documentation. Now let's do the fault and fire test. So reset the master caution. Let's go here to fault first. Fault APU detector in op. Overheat detector light is illuminated. Check the fire bells. Got 3 fire warning lights, 2 engine overheat lights, the wheel well light, and the bell and the overheat detector light as well. Now, a question actually came in on Discord quite recently, and also a comment on one of my videos regarding these 3 green lights here. These 3 green lights only illuminate when you move this switch, and what this little switch does, it tests the circuit between the fire handle switch and the squib, the bottle which contains the extinguishant which puts out an engine fire or an APU fire. Someone thought, or someone answered incorrectly to one of these questions here, this green light illuminates when the fire has extinguished. That's not correct. The only way to tell you have an engine fire is when this light illuminates. You pull the handle, rotate the switch to fire left or right bottle, and when the light extinguishes the fire light, that's when the fire is put out, and not anything to do with this green light. That just simply tests the circuit between the, as I said, the bottle and the handle. But hopefully two birds with one stone. I answered a question on Discord yesterday about that, and also, funny enough, a comment on the question as well. So there we go. Moving our way up onto the up overhead panel. Put these emergency exit lights are now armed. Test the attend button. Let's have a little look at this sector here. Here's our brand new operational flight plan, straight from SimBrief. Flight level 370, call sign Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, Athens to Larnaca. Flight time around 29 minutes. 7.7 tons of fuel required. Now, the weather in Larnaca, it's okay. Here, not that great, but they have a chance of quite variable winds later in Larnaca. In fact, the METAR, or the TAF, is saying tempo thunderstorms from 1800 Zulu, which is in half an hour. So it could happen temporarily, but possibly not. But here in Athens as well, wind's quite strong. Also a chance of some thunderstorms as well. Kieran Harvey has purchased some Alpaca Airways Remove After Flight socks. What a legend. Thank you very much, Kieran Harvey. I know you've been playing a lot of Among Us on the Discord server with Mariana, so fantastic. Thank you very much for purchasing the Flight Deck to Sim socks. Amazing, thank you very much. So yeah, we're going to take a little bit of extra fuel. A, because potential thunderstorms. B, because it's a VATSIM event. It could be a bit busy. Potential holding. So let's take an extra 30 minutes. We've got quite a lot of alternate fuel here for our alternate, which is Antalya in Turkey. So 3.4 tons required, which is also included into that block fuel figure. So if we take 1,200 kilos on top of this, that should be sufficient for at least 30 minutes holding, a bit of scratching head before we'd have to go to Antalya. So that would be, let's call it 7.686, we'll call it 8.8 tons of fuel. Which would be a kind of figure I'd be taking in real life if I was doing this sector, maybe a bit more with the chance of thunderstorms. So 8.8, that's been requested. We just need to now push call for the fuel truck. And payload, we said on the SimBrief flight plan that we take 175 passengers. If I push this and then enter, you'll see the gear go down. Boop, there we go. So they've already loaded. And if we take a quick little look externally, you can see Dimitri is loading up the fuel on our aircraft. Lovely. Let's carry on with the rest of the flow here. So flaps are up. Don't forget to start the flight leg as well for a little bit of immersion. You can hear the aircraft is now boarding. A bit of flight deck lighting here as well, because it is night time. X-Plane 11 lighting is a bit dodgy during the day, but at night it's quite realistic with the light coming in off the what's the word? Oh my goodness me. The floodlights. That was the word. It's quite realistic with the way it illuminates. I quite like that. But we'll put a little bit of internal lighting in anyway. So flaps are up. Indicator position shows up as well. And working our way down here, FMC. I'll usually do it at a different stage in the setup, but I'll put that to RTO and reset as well. Load the FMC shortly. Cargo fire tests. That's ringing quite nicely. And there's the fire warning light as well. Rudder radar on trim is central. Manual gear extension is closed and locked. Circuit breakers are in. Spare bulbs, emergency escape ropes all closed. Stall warning test. There we go. You can just about hear it. Mach airspeed warning test. Flight recorder. IRS to nav. I don't usually mention it here, but as you include this panel scan as well, you want to make sure the EC's on, reversers, lights are extinguished. There's no associated amber caution lights that you wouldn't usually see here. Circuit breakers in the captain's side. And as we said, we've started the boarding in the ZIBO Mod 737. Oh my goodness, some more socks have been purchased. Thank you very much. Who's that Maestro Cross? What does he say? Let's keep those socks coming. My goodness. Oh my goodness, that's sensational. Thank you very much. 2 socks, or 2 pairs of socks have been purchased today. What a record. Thank you very much. EGPW test. That's a good point, Captain Monster. That's done on the first sector, completed by the first officer. I don't do it because it will just blur on for about... I do it in the real aircraft, of course, but I don't want to do it in the sim whilst I'm trying to brief and talk to you, explain what I'm doing, because it just blurs on for about 2 minutes if you do the full test. So we'll assume that's been completed by the first officer. Anyway, that's the initial safety inspection checklist complete. We can now grab some weather. I think we have ATC online. We do ATIS and just ground at the moment. Oh, approach is online as well, but we'll get the weather now. 136125. That's coming up now.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much, Dominic Orsini, for the $5.
Temperature.
Good afternoon, Captain. Good to be with you again.
Thank you, Dominic. Good afternoon to you as well, sir. I can remember you coming in last stream and across the pond, so thank you very much. I hope you're doing very well stateside. Great, and good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for your kind donation there. Cool, right. Captain X Country Flight List Sim, where do you record a good 737 checklist for simming? Captain X Country, you are catered for in the ZIBO Mod 737. Look here, little click spot, and you have a checklist, which is one I wrote loosely based off real-world operators, and it's included here with the sim. And also, not on top of that as well, you also have all the checklists here, the EFBs. So I don't use them because obviously I do the flight based off my loosely based off my operator's SOPs. Now, where is it under here? I think it's page 2. No, it is somewhere here. Ah, right in front of me. Look, checklists, preliminary checklist. You can work your way through it. Click the tick box. So that also works as well. So yeah, that's the best source of information, the one included with the ZIBO Mod 737. Brian's going, what? I don't think he realised that these features were included with the ZIBO Mod 73. Niall Judah says, hello everyone, good day to you as well. Tom Baldock, hope you're doing well. He says, terrain ahead, pull up, whoop whoop. Thank you very much for doing the EGPWS test for me there. Lovely, right, so yeah, let's grab the ATIS. I did just tune up the frequency.
Here is Athens of Venizelos Airport. ATIS information Bravo.
So Bravo.
Recorded at 1720. Approach Pi LS Zulu. Landing runway 03 right. Takeoff runway 03 right. Transition level 100. Operational information. Runway 03 left 21 right and taxiways Alpha and Bravo closed.
Okay.
Surface wind 010 degrees. 18 knots, gust 31.
Lovely.
Visibility 0 kilometers or more. Light drizzle. Few 2,500 feet. Broken 4,500 feet. Temperature +13. Dew point +4. QNH 1018. Specific ATIS instruction. Concentration of birds in the airport vicinity.
Goddamn birds.
Advise on initial contact you have listened to in.
So do they put virtual birds on every ATIS on VATSIM? Unbelievable. So information, Bravo, runway 03 right in use, 03 left 21 right is closed, as is the Alpha and Bravo taxiway. Windy, 01018 gusting 31. So when you have quite a strong headwind like that, some things you need to consider is perhaps using a higher thrust setting for departure. You have a wind shear option, but that's usually reserved for quite high strong winds. But apart from that, nothing too bad. 10k of is light drizzle, few clouds at 2,500 feet, broken at 4,500 feet, 13 degrees. And QNH is 1018. Winter is well on the way in Athens. Perfect, that's set. We'll set the MFRA as well, which is initially at 1160. I am going to use real Boeing OPT performance data from the official OPT right in front of me, and I've got most of that weather punched in there. So that's set. Lighting we've done, clock's correct, and UTC and lighting's all good. I always forget to do it in the mod, but you additionally do a lights test for the first light of the day, so you do
40,
a panel scan,
30,
make sure all the lights
20,
are illuminated.
10.
So we need to have illuminated anyway. Thank you very much, Jintaris Jr. for the £1.79. Thanks for all the knowledge shared on streams and all the entertainment on Discord. Thank you very much, Jintaris Jr. That's very kind of you. Mostly thanks to Mariana, because I've been quite busy the last few days. I know she's been keeping you all entertained with her improving attempts at Among Us. I promise you I'll join in one game as well with you guys soon, but it's been very enjoyable the last few days, and I'm glad you're all enjoying you especially Jintaris, enjoying the Discord and your membership there, so thank you very much. Perfect, so let's load up the FMC now. So here's the operational flight plan. Let's go to FMC. So the latest Air Act 2012, 26k is active until December. We're in Athens, which is LGAV. Every time I see GAV, I think of I've just completed Red Dead Redemption, and I just keep going, Gavin! Anyone that's played Red Dead Redemption will know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but we're in Gavin. We're in Larnaca, Lima Charlie, Lima Kilo. Our call sign today is Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. departure, runway 03 right. I will now just select the Kia 2 Juliet. Before I brief it, I will get the clearance because there are several Kia departures. It could be any of them. From Kia Upper Lima 9 and 905 to Romeo Delta Sierra. From there, it's going to be Upper Mike 601.
50, 40,
to
30, 20,
Iveno.
10.
Thank you very much to Franco Bob Fred for the $2. I can't fit my alpaca in the overhead compartment. Thank you very much, Franco Bob Fred. Now, if you did select the alpaca option check-in for when you want to bring your onboard alpaca, you need to make sure that they are of a size to get inside the overhead locker. Otherwise, you do have to pay the additional fee to put your alpaca in the hold. So I'm afraid you'll have to just pay the surcharge, put him at the hold there. So thank you very much, Franco Bob Fred. Of course, we do often run promotions where you can bring your alpaca in for free, so watch out for those flights. Right, after Iveno, Mike 601 to Bonek. Yes, if anyone is watching, we do run a fictitious virtual airline, an unofficial virtual airline called Alpaca Airways. We cause havoc on the VATSIM network, where we often do our monthly group flights with an excess of 40 to 50 aircraft. It's great fun. Great fun. You'll be hearing several alpacas today if you're Greek ATC, that's for sure. Right, so again, I've taken a bit of a guess with the arrival here. There's a Bonek 1 Romeo. All these stars via Bonek coming into Larnaca, they terminate overhead the airfield, where there's multiple approaches available. There's several procedural approaches. I think we might get vectors, but I've never been to Larnaca. They might not actually have any radar here. So it might have to be done procedurally, sort of like Corfu. Corfu has no radar, so it has to be operated procedurally. Again, I have no operational knowledge of Larnaca. I've never flown there. So I'm going to select ILS X-ray for 22 via... Ooh, there's two transitions here. Let's take a wild guess at the Larnaca one for now. I'll activate execute. Let's do a quick gross error check on that. So ground distance 555, and we have 538. That's okay. That's looking good. Fuel's looking a bit lacking. 1.6 tons. We'll finish loading the FMC first, see if that improves. But there could be some crazy discontinuity here. Also, that restriction at 6,000 feet might not be helping that either. Thank you very much to CH Sobers, just joined as a member. Welcome aboard. Glad you're enjoying the content. You'll get invited to our members only Discord. Enjoy your custom emojis in chat as well. It's also worthwhile shouting out, I think we had a member join just before the stream as well. I think we had... Oh my goodness, we had two members join prior to start the stream. Well, they were rejoining, Stefan, Stacey, and Woody Sealbinder. So thanks to you guys. Well, welcome back as members, and glad you're re-enjoying the content, if that is such a word. But also welcome to CH Sober. Yes, I'm just quickly checking through the legs here, make sure there's nothing silly. It's looking good. So from there, outbound, yeah, it looks really good. Love the fact that the ZIBO has these beautiful curved lines now. Looking very realistic. Last time I flew this approach was actually in the MD-80, which did a reasonably good job, but it did screw up one of the arrival points there. But great aircraft anyway. That's an aircraft we need to fly soon again, the Rotate MD-80. But I feel a FlyJSim 737-200 stream is due. It's been a while since we've flown that aircraft. I absolutely love that thing. And maybe in Canada, along the west coast, along the infamous Milk Run. We'll see in the future. Thank you very much to Mark Smith, who's just bought a Flydeck Sim mug. He says, check, brew, dunk. Wow, 10 out of 10 for that. Thank you very much, buddy. Merchandise flying off the stores this evening, so thank you very much. I hope you enjoy your brew. Indeed.
50,
My
40,
goodness. Thank you very much as well
30,
to Jonathan Wiltshire
20,
for the £5 donation.
Flying in our favorite holiday region in the world, bring
Amazing.
us back some proper feta and black olives, please, Captain.
Thank you very much, Jonathan Wiltshire, for your £5. Very generous. He's wanting some Greek merchandise as well. What's the drink they always drink? Is it Ouzo? I'll get you some of that as well, Jonathan Wiltshire on top. Thank you very much, buddy. I'll actually make sure I go to Sainsbury's and get myself some feta and black olives. There are other supermarkets available, of course. So thank you very much for that, buddy. And we'll be sure to wave virtually down to your favourite holiday destination. Thanks, buddy. Reserves 3.4 then. cost index is 30. Going to be cruising at flight level 370 today. That is executed. Top of climb wind is 324 at 10 knots. So a nice gentle breeze. I seldom do this in the stream, but I'm trying again to do as much as we do in real life as possible. But another thing we do is put the average wind at the first waypoint after top of climb. So the average wind, it'll seldom make much difference because we're such a short sector and such light winds here. But what we do is go to the route data page, and the first waypoint after top of climb, you'll see there's no wind information. But where the wind information starts is where the top of climb has been generated into the FMC, and then we put the average wind in at the first waypoint after top of climb. So that's going to be 245 at 23. Now what this does, that ensures that the progress page and fuel arrival is as accurate as possible, but also it climbs at the most economic speed, which is based off our top of climb wind. Now if you forecast or tell the FMC that, hey, your top of climb wind here, which is called cruise wind, but we put the top of climb wind here. If you essentially say, right, there's a really strong headwind here, what the aircraft will do, it'll climb at a faster speed to ensure that it actually takes a little bit longer to get to the cruise level because it doesn't want to stick in that headwind. And conversely, if you say you have a very strong tailwind, it'll climb at a slower speed, and what that means is you'll get to your top of climb higher, so it can take advantage of that tailwind. So that's why it's quite important to get an accurate top of climb wind in there, but don't forget then to update the average wind at the first waypoint after top of climb. Right, let's stick in the ISA deviation, which is 10 degrees. We've got the ATIS already, 12 degrees. My operator, we have to put that temperature in manually. And based off the forecast weather conditions, our takeoff weight, which I just need to make a note of here, is 67.1. I'm using for our performance intersection Delta 5 for runway 03 right, and that is saying we can take off with full 22k. And with that sort of wind we have, gusting 31 knots, I wouldn't take an assumed temperature. There's nothing stopping you, because usually based off a crosswind, but the crosswind based on that wind with the gust is over 10 knots anyway. Thank you very much to Charlie Akers, who's just joined as a member. Glad you're enjoying the content. You'll get invited to our members-only content. Members-only content, well, yeah, technically true. But most importantly, the Discord as well. Thank you very much, buddy, as well. Martin80, thank you for the £4.48.
Thanks for your great streams. You have helped me very often. Keep it up.
Thank you very much, Martin18. I'm glad you're finding the streams entertaining and educational for your home flight sim experience. So thank you very much for that indeed. Wicked. 22k is in, 91.8. 6 units of trim based off our CG of 20.1, so we'll stick in the trim, 6 units. We're going good as well for our departure. We're due off in 5 minutes. I always plan to be off blocks on the flight plan 30 minutes after the start of the stream. V speeds I have on my on my OPT is 143, 143. No, they're 142, 142, 148, because I still had assumed temperature, so they're all within a knot. We can accept those speeds, and we'll bug V2 here, which is 148 knots. Lovely, so FMC's all loaded, yaw dampers on, nav transfer, display switches are normal or auto, all these are guarded off, crossfeed will check, bright, dim, bright, and off. Pop on the main tank pumps and the centre pump. We have 900 kilos of fuel in there, so we can stick on the centre tank pumps there as well. Chad Pullman, alpacas in the hold. Isn't that taking the social distancing a bit too far? Chad, we have plenty. All we have in the hold is basically empty stables for alpacas. We don't actually take in checked-in bags. Seatbelt sign, come on. Quick quiz on normal, armed. Tested the attend button. Let's whack on the APU because we're getting to the point where we need to do push and start. Window heat can come on at this stage. Probe off. Electro-hydraulic pumps on, wing engine and T-ice is off. Diff pressure 0. Everything's on 0. Trim air's on. Auto. 37,000 feet can go in the window here. Just need to check out elevation in Larnaca. That is sea level, so 0. Pop that to steady. Right, I think it's a good time now to get our clearance. The reason is we just need to double check what the SID is, and I don't want to then brief the SID. Interesting that the QNH look is showing. Now, I'd query this in real life. If I'd set the QNH of 1018, and it was such a difference between here, this is where the FMC expects us to be, I'd be querying this. I don't know if that's an active sky thing. I know I don't like checking this because I know it can make the sim crash, but altimeter 3024. Interesting. So that's what I'm getting in the sim. That's 1024, but the QNH we recorded was 1018. I'm just going to check my active sky, guys, just to make sure that it is actually plugging in the weather correctly. Oh, my PC's gone on a bit of a go slow here. Wow, really slow. My active sky's loading, guys, but it's very slow. There we go, it's finally loaded now. So weather control. Just double check we're on live weather here. I've clicked weather control. Oh, it's not on live weather. That might be why. It's gone to custom weather. Now, why on earth has it switched that? It does that sometimes. Live weather mode is now active. Let's see if the altimeter changes. I've had this happen before, and I think it's because I've updated it. There we are. Look, you see the altimeter's just changed? Let's minimise active sky before it crashes, and we'll reset that QNH, which is 1018. And there you can see now, yes, again, it's a little bit above it, but we'll imagine that's the height of the apron. But yeah, active sky updated this afternoon, so I should think that switched it from live weather to custom weather. A little bit distracted. We're now going to run a little bit late, I fear. Let's check the frequency for delivery, which is 118675.
7,000 on QNH 1018,
I hear people.
3 Tango Fox.
And lot 3 Tango Fox confirm Skoka 721 feet.
Affirmative, 7213, 3 Tango Fox.
Wow, all my utilities on the side, X-Pilot including Active Sky, are running very slowly. I'm just trying to turn the volume down here for the 2 comm radios.
Back 57 kilo, ready, push and start.
Wow, I've just turned the volume down in the X-Pilot settings, but it's... Wow, it's so broken and slow. I think it's...
Captain's clearance, good morning, you're on Air 417.
not responding. So long as that's... That's better. Right, now let's close that and not touch it again. And we'll grab the clearance as soon as we can.
Clear to Larnaca, Kilo Echo Alpha 2 Tango departure, runway 03
So he
right.
got something 2 Tango.
7206, you're on Air 417.
Walk 417. I'm back 57 kilo, ready, push and start.
Everyone's getting their push and start now because I'm about to get my clearance. Oh dear, that's why I organise these group flights.
1275, I'm back 57 kilo, thanks a lot, good luck. And lot 3 Tango Fox, ready for push and start.
Busy guys.
2175, clarification.
Clearance, good evening. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, stand Bravo 05, information Bravo, QNH 1018, departure clearance to Larnaca, please.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, Texas delivery hello, clear to Larnaca, Kilo Echo Alpha 2 Tango departure, runway 03 right, is latitude 7,000 feet, scope 7204.
Clear to Larnaca on the Kia to Tango 03 right, climb 7,000 feet, squawk 7204, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, 1 Lima Alpha, read back is correct, departure ready for push and start.
Okay, perfect. So it's the Kia to Tango departure, not the 2 Juliet. That's why it's always worthwhile to get your SIG clearance before you brief it. It's 7,000 feet, so we'll stick in 7,000 feet here. And the squawk is 7204. So 7. Oops, wrong one here. 7204. Right. So APU's all up and running now. Running 5 minutes behind schedule. Don't worry about that. Gee, APU's on the bus at least. Let's have a little look at our taxi and SID. So I just need to bin that SID chart, and he said a Kia 2 Tango. Where are you, Kia 2 Tango? Let's select it on my EFB first. We know you're here somewhere. There we are. So we're on stand Bravo 05, going to be pushed back to face west on the Echo taxiway. We'll eventually make our way over onto Charlie, and there is Delta 1 full length for departure. The performance is based off Delta 5, so we can actually technically take off from here. With our performance data, we'll see if we might even get a cheeky little shortcut if there's a big queue there. You're pushing your luck usually on VATSIM if you get that. Let's just set the runway QDM on the MCP first, which is 032. And that still says for us climb on the Sierra Papa Alpha 032 radial until 12 miles, so we'll stick in 032 here as well. Zero three two. And Spa VOR, so that is, well, I call it Spa, it's the Athens VOR, 17.5, we'll make that active. So I sort of hope this makes you kind of appreciate the amount of work that's involved. I do this every single stream, but don't forget there's two people. We kind of do this each sector. The setup, what I'm doing now, is usually a little bit quicker because I'm not obviously having to explain it all. But there are two pilots, but we still have to do all this. On top of that, we have to brief, which is what I sort of do now. The checklist as well. So it's quite a lot of work. There's quite a lot of work involved. So going out for 12 miles, max 210 knots in that initial turn. So we've got 210 knots or below that checks. So there's going to be a continuous right turn inbound to the Kia VOR, which is 1500 on the track of 174, I think. Well, I guess that's what it says there, 174. It's usually a little bit clearer on the chart here. It just says turn right to the Kia VOR. So we'll set that up as 115.0 on box 2. And that course, it's not depicted on the chart, but I mean you can double check in the FMC, but essentially it's not a radial you need to pick up, it just says make a right turn direct to the VOR, so it's whatever radial you're on essentially. And then from Kia outbound to Bibex. Now we've been cleared to an altitude of 7,000 feet. It looks like on the SID we've got 240 as the initial restriction, but we'll make sure 7,000 set there. It actually says at Kia 6,000 or below that, and that's a little nav database issue. Look, it's actually at or above 6,000, but at or below flight level 240 it says 6,000 or below, so you actually have to change that. It also says on that radio 4,000 feet or below. Again, that is not depicted on that chart at all. Now we have been cleared to 7,000. Now in real life I'd be questioning, you know, why is this restriction here, because what can happen is they can clear you to say climb to 7,000, but you have to still take the other restrictions into account. Now I'm happy on VATSIM that we've been cleared direct to 7,000, but in real life I'd be querying that, and I will stick in a 7,000 foot restriction at the Kia VOR there, so that's at least respected. But yeah, that's it, that's the departure. I think we've covered everything. We're all ready to go. Just need to do the rest of the scan here. So flight director's on, auto brakes RTO, we'll put the legs page here, takeoff. And the rest of the setup's all done. Frequencies are all set. Pop the AP bleed on now, and we don't need to disconnect GPU because it will do that automatically when we'll push back from the stand, and we can now hopefully get transferred to ground to get our start clearance. Oh, that radio's not great. This guy's very quiet. Oh goodness. Sounds like that scene of Star Wars, the quality of that audio.
20, 10.
Oh, thank you very much, Tim. That's very generous of you, Tim, but no need. Members, please.
Annoyed that I couldn't get sound for some reason, but we'll enjoy the stream nonetheless.
Oh, thanks, Tim.
Cauliflower, cheese, Hasselback, potatoes and fillet steak on the go. I guess we all have to compromise. Tears of joy.
That's very kind, Tim. Sorry that you've had some issues, because I know you're quickly trying to get involved and joined in on this sector. I'm sorry to hear that you've had some problems. Enjoy your Hasselback potatoes, steak and cauliflower cheese. That sounds outrageously good. Mariana, are you watching? Hints?
Roger,
Shout no. Thanks a lot, Tim. And again, to all members, please, just the membership fee is all I ever ask for the members. There's no need to donate on top of that. Tim, that's very kind. We spoke to you about this several times. Just spend that on your kids, please. Thanks, Tim. Right.
Deliver a pack of 5.
Who's drumming away there? Behave yourselves. Right, so all we've got to do is request push to start. The air bridge is getting itself attached. What's my performance here? About 40 FPS. I've noticed I think it's a little bit heavy on the frames with all the lighting here. He's probably 100 miles away. It's realistic audio codec for VATSIM based on pilot distance. I heard about that Sim 737 pilot. That's cool. Tom Gibley, hope you're doing well. Do you do free to checks on the 7.3? Negative. An Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha on stand Bravo 05. Request push and start.
So connected and bypassed and inserted. Release parking brake.
Ground on 121.75. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Bye.
Ground 203, be ready for push and start, stand Bravo 13.
Perfect. We'll stick on ground and we'll request push and start. Larnaca ground, very good evening. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha stand Bravo 05. Request push and start.
Blocked.
Uh-oh.
Neptune 09 total. Go ahead. Startup approved, Tune 81017.
Probably blocked someone there. So yeah, what I should have done is listen for a few seconds.
Alpaca 7 Papa Romeo, contact tower 118.65.
Tower 118.625, Alpaca 7 Papa Romeo.
That's young Swifty, one of our members.
Same for you, load 3 Tango Fox for contact tower 118.65.
Athens 625, listening here, 3 Tango Fox.
Alpaca 57 kilo, continue taxi.
Super busy.
Already done. Fire Delta to hold point Delta 2, right.
Sorry, that's my mistake. Continue taxi, Delta.
Who was taxiing
and
without clearance?
Delta,
Report to
Alpaca
Chief Pilot.
7 kilo.
Ground a pack of 5-6 Lima, ready for push and start.
This poor Greek controller, I always say it. Nice relaxing evening. ATC in Greece, and all of a sudden he's herding around alpacas left, right, and centre.
Alpaca, sorry. 56 Lima.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Hold position on pack of 5-6 Lima.
Ground, good evening. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, stand Bravo 05. Request push and start.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, push and start approved, facing south, Tune 81017.
Push start approved, facing south. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Facing south? Yeah, I suppose in the southerly direction is sort of representing that way, so yeah, I'll let him off. Right, packs off. Anti-collision light is on. Parking brake is set. Transport out off. Checks complete. We then communicate with the ground crew, make sure everything's disconnected, and he'd say, yeah, clear push to start, parking brake is set, and he'll say, release parking brake. Yeah, and we'd say Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, well, not to him, but we're 11 minutes late. Record the time as 11 minutes late. And there we are.
And you may start engine.
Off we go, guys. Yeah, so 11 minutes late, no problem. It is busy. And Alpaca Airways ground handling is pushing us away. And UQNH is 1017. Thanks, Alfie. I'll wait for ATC to confirm that, but I do believe you.
1 and Delta Turkish 221.
Is there anyone else pushing around us? Oh, there's an A350 pushing backwards. Hello, Treble. How are you? Great news, everyone. If you're watching my streams recently, my partner, Mariana, she had a bad ear infection. It's completely cleared and she can now hear everything again.
Neptune 09.
I'm not happy about it, no. I quite enjoyed it.
Make 180 because you're in a hunt.
Are we doing the checklist today? Do you want to do some checklist reading?
So you need to make it
Guys in chat, would you want to hear Mariana read the checklist, the before taxi checklist?
Delta 9. Delta.
There's no chat. Right, we'll start engine number 2 now.
Straightforward as 180.
Later. Are you not reading the checklist then? Alright, no, Mariana said no to the checklist. She's having cereal. N2. I've never had a first officer say that to me before. N2. Oil pressure N1, 25%. Fuel in. Check the spar valve. It's gone off. Keep your hand on the start lever the whole time. Berghaus said, "You seem disappointed." Oh, I've just realised something. God damn it! The stream latency, I didn't slow down. Sorry, guys. So there's actually around a 30-second delay. I forgot to switch it over to low latency. So you're actually hearing me about 25 seconds instead of 5 seconds. So sorry about that, guys. Does mean the quality of the stream's a bit better at least.
03 right, here on Air 417.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Thanks, Jeff. Parking brake is set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
And we'll imagine we could start engine number 1. Good timing, because we always try to start engine number 1 after the pushback's complete.
Athens ground, Lisbeth, Olympic 3 Charlie Golf, position Alpha 09, request push and start.
Volve, yeah, well spotted.
3 Charlie Golf, standby.
N2. Wall pressure, N1.
Same for you, sir. You have to make an 180
Uh-oh.
because you're in a hug of an airline.
Carnage going on outside.
Delta 9, correction, Delta 9, Delta, holding point, Delta 2 of Z right.
Looking good. A super Grover. Oh, Captain, my Captain, enjoy the flight now. I just have to put the children to bed. I'm going to watch. Have a nice flight. Best wishes to Mariana. Thanks a lot, Super Grover.
Tow is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the right.
Start to cut out on a G engine number 1. Yeah, standby tower. FO's eating cereal. Outrageous comment. Right, 1 and 2 stable.
3 Charlie Golf, request push and start.
Generator's on, APU's off. Wait until we've seen the bypass bin.
Start approved, facing north. I say again, facing north. QNH 1017. Olympic 3 Charlie Golf, Roger, push and start approved, facing north. Then we need another minute for the north.
Thanks, Demetrius. So there's the bypass bin. Can now complete the rest before taxi flow. Generator's on, APU's off.
Iron Air 417.
Start switch is continuous. Pro repeats on, anti-ice lock required. Packs auto. Station mobile, AP repeats off. Rest is set. Flaps, of course. 5 for departure. Let's check the flight controls. Full forward, full back, left, centre, right, centre. Here comes the rudders. Full right and full left, centre. Recall, there's no master cautions, blank lower DU, and that's it. Before taxi checklist is complete, we just need to request taxi.
Okay, so that's alpaca. Okay, yes, sir.
We've got some alpacas.
You don't need the pushback first. Yes, you have to just start up with QNH 1017. Roger, when we are ready, we'll call back. Correct.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha request taxi.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha taxi via Echo Delta 5 Delta to holding point Delta 2 of the right, and sorry for the delay.
No delay for us. Taxi Echo Delta 5 Delta, hold point Delta 2 for 03 right. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. No delay for us at all. We've been perfect.
Ground 9 Bravo, stand Bravo 07.
Cool. So we'll just turn that volume down slightly. So yeah, we're going to taxi Echo, then Delta 5, so it's the next left, onto Delta, and then hold point Delta 2, so it's there. So it's the first left, essentially, but make sure we take cross 2 taxiways to get all the way over to Delta, because we've got to go over Charlie there. Right, parking brakes released. Clear left, and thanks Jim, clear right, or put that serial down, config check, at about 30% just to break us off. We're on our way. Clock will do that.
Springbox 203.
No logo light as well. Well spotted. Just testing you. That's the one thing I forgot before start flow. 10 out of 10. That's definitely a
Taxi Echo, left Delta 6, taxi via Delta and also Delta 5.
And Neco's Superfire got a 737. I need to calculate how much fuel I use. Use the SimBrief flight plan. MS Aviation Athens where? Greece. Or where are we going most likely, you're asking? To Larnaca. So here's Delta 5, you can check on the chart here, and you can see visually Delta 5, but we're not going to take the first right because that's Charlie, we're going to cross all the way over to Delta.
Yes, that's what I'm going to say now. Alpaca 5-6 Lima push and start approved, push facing east, thank you, next 1017.
I just realised I should have, oh, not waypoint, airport on here.
Push start approved, QNH 1017.
Oh, look, we're illuminating a Burak. Who's Burak? I've never heard of that airline.
Yeah, it's east.
From another packet 56 Lima.
Is that Burak's airline? Right, second right onto Delta. Adam, you just taken off from Athens, safe flight. We'll probably see you in a hold somewhere, 'cause it could be quite busy there.
Springbok 203, you are on Charlie 7, not on Delta, so...
And clear left.
Now on Charlie.
And we'll take the next right. I quite like it at night. I've always debated whether to fly lifetime, and with this event specifically called the Aphrodite Night flying on VATSIM, I thought might as well just do it lifetime, live weather, but it looks really cool at night. Wicked. So let's have a look ahead of us. We've got at least one aircraft ahead of us. Crikey, maybe a few more. I like this, you can kind of see here. So we've got 1, 2, 3 aircraft ahead of us for departure. That's acceptable. QNH is 1017. Yes, I believe you. I'll confirm with ATC, but I'll set it now because you keep telling me in chat. It's Burak's side hustle. I've never heard of the airline called Burak for Q. Right, we did...
Echo Golf, you don't need the pushback surge, just start up, so approved.
Oh, alpacas causing chaos everywhere. Burak is a Libyan airline. There you go. So you see the windsock, that's quite nice how it depicts the wind in real life, coming in from the northeast. Well, the north, wasn't it? 010. Thanks, Paul F. I see you're busy. Thanks a lot to all my moderators who are managing the chats, no doubt, in an exemplary manner. And can't stress that's very kind for you to help out there. Captain Monster, check your auto throttle is on. Thanks, Captain Monster. Have you not watched any of my streams? as a member of long term here, do that all whilst we're lining up. The most frequent thing I forget is the clock. I don't think I've ever forgotten anything critical before on a stream.
1 Lima Alpha, taxi to Delta 1 and contact tower 118.65.
Taxi holding point Delta 1 and tower 118625, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So now to Delta 1, so full length. So over to tower 18625. He's using the next right at Delta 2 by the looks of it, but we'll taxi Delta 1. Now something you need to be very careful of, again, not so much in the sim, because it's a bit of fun obviously, but is check your wingtip clearance. So if an aircraft's holding here, you don't want to be taxiing straight ahead in a straight line and then whack your wingtip on his APU exhaust. So you want to be nice and patient here, make sure he's well clear before taxiing forward. Plenty of events or incidents online where wingtips have been striking other aircraft as well. Again, on a desktop sim, you don't have to worry about it so much. We also got Iran Air, very cool. You know, all these parts of the world, not too far away. Right, do the before takeoff checklist now. Config we've checked. Flaps we have 5 green lights. Strap trim 6 units of departure is set. Packs are in auto. Bleeds are on. The V speeds are set. 41, 41, 48, and we have no V speeds on the PFD. Departure is a Kia 2 Tango, climbing straight ahead 12 DME, and we have Spa on the left hand side here. Once we get there, make a right turn, max 2 turn knots inbound to the Kia VOR, which is here. Climbing to an altitude of 7,000 feet, which is the ATC stop altitude requested. It's NADP 2 I'm going to use. Not sure what it is, I'm not read any briefing here. And not sure if there's an airborne frequency on approach or ATC later. We'll double check with air traffic control. And there is our whole point, Delta 1 for 03 right, and then we'll check in with ATC. Athens Tower, very good evening. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, holding point Delta 103 right. We are ready for departure.
Roger.
That's not the correct response, but we'll take it.
Tower quality 2 Tango Charlie, holding behind 1 Lima Alpha at Delta 1.
Oops, I forgot to turn off the plugin admin for X checklist.
Roger.
Roger. No problem. Right, let's just turn up ATC slightly. Right, let me just turn off. Don't need Symlink today because I'm not using it. And X checklist, which is actually using a bit of FPS, so we'll turn it off as well. So looking to our left, there's that TNT 737-400 we saw at the start. We have an MD-80. And don't forget, guys, especially if you're new to simming, don't forget these aircraft are other real people on the VATSIM network. They're all flying that particular aircraft. And they're all displaying there as other aircraft, which is cool. Black Cobra, from where can I get the Barrow? So you can get the QNH from ATC. If you're flying offline, you can check out something called the METAR, which is a weather report for the airfield. That will also report the Barrow setting you need, be it QNH or inches of mercury, depending on where you are flying in the world. Dano TCAS will turn that all on when we line up. Martin's interested in the scenery. Yep, the scenery here from Fly Tampa. Obviously at night it's not really showing off what it is, but like all the Fly Tampa sceneries, it does look very, very nice. Just waiting for our takeoff clearance. Seems to be a bit of a delay. Stephen Brown, who's Roger? Burke Aslan Helicopter, what sort of procedure do you follow in case you lose the takeoff slot? Now, we always aim to not miss your slot. So if you have, say, a slot at, let's say 30.
Kalispera, Alpaca to Golf at Delta 2. Delta 3, sorry.
I didn't read back that. Oh, where's the tower gone? So if you have a slot, let's say it's a 30, you could take off up to 5 minutes before to 10 minutes after. So the earliest airborne would be 25. You must be airborne by 40. Now, if it looks like you're going to miss that slot, two things could possibly happen. You
Toll stations holding on 03 right, expected delay of 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Due to Larnaca approach.
Uh-oh.
It's over occupied right now, so we need to make some separations for 8 to 10 minutes.
Roger. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Is it 8? It's going to put something else up to there. Yes, it applies to everyone.
No, sir, you're going to be the last departure right now.
I'll let you off because it's probably not going to Larnaca.
From 8 to 10 minutes from now.
It seems we've caused a little congestion at Larnaca this evening. What was I saying? Yeah, so yeah, if you looks like you're going to miss your slot, two things can happen. You might be lucky and the slot's either cancelled, or you get a new slot which is only a few minutes after.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, line up and wait 03 right, expect departure in about 8 minutes from now.
Line up wait 03 right, there's got to be Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Now that's very unusual. ATC wouldn't usually get you to line up if you had a delay like that of 8 minutes. That's very significant. Now, I don't know if he's going to get a few aircraft to depart in front of us, which is possible, especially with the fact that the other runway's closed, so aircraft will be landing here, but obviously he can see what inbound traffic he can expect, so I guess, yeah, not an issue if there's no one inbound, but it'd be very unusual, even if it was at a quiet airport, to get a line up and wait on the runway for that significant period of time, because even there might be an emergency landing that's coming in, you know, just after departure, immediately needs to land. Anyway, we'll accept that. So MCP is set, transponder is TARA, strobe lights are on, and just waiting for our takeoff clearance. So yes, slots, I'll try and finish. If it's if you're lucky, the slot's cancelled. If you're unlucky, say it's another 2 hours, you might even consider going all the way back onto stand, or perhaps going somewhere on the airfield and shutting the engines down and just staying on the APU remotely. It depends how much fuel you have, and there's lots of different factors, but there's no hard and fast rule. It can be very flexible based off the situation. Right, anyway, we're lined up. We're just going to wait for our takeoff clearance, which said is going to be in 8 minutes time. A little bit left of centre line, but there we go. Lined up nicely, and parking brake is set. Well, I know some of you clever clocks could tell me how many arrivals are due into Larnaca, see where we are in the sequence. It is a VATSIM event, and I only posted that I was doing this stream this afternoon. Sometimes we do the events and we get a lot of people join. Can you turn on cockpit lights, said Nicholas? Well, I can turn on the dome light, that will make it significantly brighter. It wouldn't usually be on at this stage. There you go, so you can see with the dome light on, it's very bright. But but we want to keep it nice and dark at night because your eyes will adapt here. Now these are very bright, they wouldn't be anywhere near as bright as this, so it'd be probably something like,
on runway,
I mean, not even that
right,
in real life. I'll try and this would be far lower as well. Probably something like that. It's a bit more realistic, but obviously in the sim that makes it a little bit more difficult to see. So I have it turned up a little bit higher, just so you can see the instruments a little clearer here. I've just noticed something really annoying on the video. There's a little logo in the bottom right hand side here. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know how that's turned on. I haven't turned any settings at all. There's a flight deck to sim logo. I need to try and work out how to turn that off. Thanks guys, 34 arrivals according to VATSIM. Alright, not so crazy busy. Jeremy, your RAS is going to have a field day on the runway for 8 minutes. It does like to repeat itself. Burke UC, yes, I eventually got my information about the slot out. Took some time with the distractions. Mauro Visquez has requested we do a flight to Costa Rica. That's certainly a place we've not been to yet, so we'll look into that for sure. The thing is, I've always said this so many times as well, we're lacking well, I don't have the Ortho 4XP for anywhere outside of Europe, and that's sort of the beauty. I'm looking forward in the future to having decent aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulators because the world's there already, but I have downloaded Ortho tiles for that part of the world already. And thankfully, part of the Orbex, I have a relationship with Orbex as well, so I have access to a lot of their scenery now. So I'm downloading and replacing all my Ortho tiles for areas where we have the True Earth scenery. Because I've been looking around here, it doesn't seem to have the same effect on my resources as Ortho does. So I'm going to be replacing a lot of the hard drive space for the True Earth series, which covers all of the UK, the Balearic Islands. They have scenery for whole of Florida, which I already have installed, all of California. So I'll be looking to do some flights around there as well. Jordan Denson's streaming at 60 FPS now. I see. I know my upload right now is 20 meg per second for the stream, but at our house we have uploads about 70 meg, but it goes down to around 50 when I'm streaming. It's pretty good. Downloads here is very quick now, 300 compared to where we moved from, which was 10 times slower. I have some super high fast internet here. Well, I'm guessing all these aircraft are going also to Larnaca, hence why they didn't get any sort of priority here. All looking good. Where were you guys? Weather radar. Don't forget to turn that on. My test. There you go. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, I've just realised Tim's donation is completely overspilt there. It's tricking my OCD slightly, so let's fix that. Look at that, professional streamer here. Damn it. Works so hard to make sure that all is centered. Well, so really on the runway, if it's just happening in real, I've waited on the runway for times like this, and I've had it before. London in the summer can often delay departures considerably if it's that busy. I mean, certainly not right now, but it's well known. But typically you'll be at the whole point still. Luke Bailey, what FPS are we getting right now? 40. Airborne and flying en route, it could drop depending on where I am to around 50-60. ZIBO is quite, for the aircraft, it's quite FPS friendly compared to some of the other aircraft available. So generally I have no performance issues. My specs obviously all the way down at the bottom. 3 dislikes, outrageous. MS Aviation, 686 of you here are waiting for me to push Toga. As Ras talks over me, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button, see if we get up to 300 likes prior to departure. Very good. Can you turn up ATC? I sure can, Jeremy. And please, always, guys, feel free to provide free feedback during the stream. If you think it's too quiet, too loud, let me know, and I can make the changes here. Now, this does seem like a bit of an excessive delay. I mean, this is Larnaca, who have obviously contacted Athens saying, look, we need to slow down the amount of arrivals here. I don't mind holding for a short while, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when we get there. Alexander, I think you have the Kia 2 Juliet and the FNC instead of the Kia 2 Tango. I think you might be right. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. That's a big... That's definitely Are You a Real Pilot? Emoji. Wow. Yeah, so don't forget to update your FMC. Wow. Can't believe I forgot to do that. So dangers are, when you get a runway change or clearance, what you need to do is stop. That's why there's two of us, remember. If you get it during taxiing, that is. Stop, set a parking brake, rebrief it, reselect it as well. Very important to do that when you get your clearance. And I forgot to do one of the 3 important steps there, which is when you get your clearance, you check your SID, sorry, your cleared flight level and the squawk. But that's looking much better now. Kia, from Kia to BibX. That's all set correctly. And then from BibX to Varix, I'm just going to double check my OFB. That's definitely yeah, whoever that was, fantastic spot. Just check the waypoint after BibX. Kia, it actually goes from Kia to Varix. Wait, 03 right, clear for takeoff, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Yep, very good, well done. Spotting the last mistake there. Guys, get your tokens in chat, we're all ready to go, finally. Right, parking brakes released, start the timer, 40%. We're now flying the correct, correct SID. Right, engine stabilised, push toga, set takeoff thrust. Live forward pressure in the control column. For 91.5. There we are, takeoff thrust set. Indications normal.
80 knots.
Checked, release that forward pressure. And we're rotating 2 to 2.5 degrees per second. A little bit fast there, and we're airborne. Positive climb gears coming up. And trim. Onto the flight directors. Lovely.
400.
That's LNAV. Superb.
1,000.
Bug up. Well, I'm a little bit low in my attitude there, but now we've bugged up, the flight directors will come to my attitude. And then we'll slowly lower nose. 132.975 Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha Bye. I really hope we're not plummeting towards the ground right now. 13. Oh no, where are we? Oops. Right, bug up. Oh dear, that's the problem with desktop sims. Right, flaps 1, accelerating. And flaps up. Nice little flap retraction sound, there's Athens. Now one of the things I'd like Active Sky to improve slightly is we have the wind at 03018 gusting 31. The wind's quite stagnant in the sim. You could just see it's gone up to 40. I wish it would just perhaps be a little bit more, change a little bit more frequently. It's something that X-Plane 11 actually does by default a bit too much, but it's a little bit too stagnant now. I don't know if that's a recent update they've done, but I've just realised, you know, it's very static, the wind. When it is gusting, you can expect it to change a little bit more, especially close to the ground, but as we're climbing now, you'd expect that to be increasing, and eventually, obviously, it will drop off below, because the wind speed's a lot less higher up there. Right, anyway, we'll select command, and we're climbing to an altitude, so we won't set standard, press vertical speed. Remember, we're restricted to 210 knots for that initial turn, so that's now set. We'll contact departures, which is what that ding is, 132975, and that is active already. Departures, very good evening. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha on the Kia 2 Juliet, correction, 2 Tango, passing 6,400 for altitude 7,000 feet.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, hello. Turn right, direct Varix, climb flight level 250.
Right, direct to Varix, climb flight level 250, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Right, direct to Varix. Now, that you see the altitude changing there, that is a bug. That should not be changing at all. So that's set. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, confirm the cleared level.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, climb flight level 250.
Climb flight level 250, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Again, demonstrating why there's two of us. We have pilot flying, worrying about the vertical navigation and setting the MCP, but that would be pilot monitoring, setting up VATSIM here. So flaps are up, no lights. We've got LNAV and VNAV. Now, not a criticism here from ATC, but we just had an 8-minute delay for departure, but now I just got a massive shortcut direct to VATSIM. Doesn't that sort of eliminate the fact that we've had an 8-minute delay? Now we just had like a 3-minute shortcut to the next waypoint. No comment. Right, set standard, passing 7.5 for flight level 250. Are we out that cloud? We are. Let's do the after takeoff checklist. Gear off, off. Start switches can come off as well. Air conditioning pressurization, diff pressures 3.5, set, auto, please, auto. Temperatures are fine. Release the cabin crew. And verify standard set, inbound to VATSIM, 7 for flight level 250. That's it, after takeoff checklist. I see you guys all helping me out there, gear off, very good. What's your bank rate? Maximum should be 30 degrees for VALNAV.
3,400 feet, climbing 7,000.
Andy B said my airspeed was dropping, I hope not. I think that was when I was busy checking the radio panel. That was master caution fuel.
080, climb flight level 190.
So we'll keep an eye on that. That should be flickering as we're climbing at this altitude. That's quite realistic. Passing 104, flight level 250. Let's do the pre-cruise checks. Fuel 6 pumps. We just got to get that 100 kilos out the centre. Lights and logo is coming off. APU's off. Pressurization 4.2 diff. Temperatures are all set. Verify the seatbelt sign is on. Recall. There we are. I like to imagine it's positive times at the moment, so we will release the passengers. Usually right now, due to COVID-19, they have to stay seated at my operator to prevent the spread of coronavirus. I don't know if that's an authority thing, but that's an SOP we have. It helps lessen the contact with other passengers, or mixing amongst other passengers, or minimising that. There we are. Pre-cruise checks complete. Time for a little bit of nice chill cruise climb music. Andy B says engine firing, caps lock. Not quite. Plainly, there is now a considerable gap before you. Yeah, I'm not. Let's see how it is. If it's super busy there, I respect the controllers and the work they have to do. They're probably not used to as much traffic, and they're trying to just reduce the workload as much as possible.
Tango Charlie, turn right heading 100.
There we are, master caution fuel, 0 at the centre.
40,
Centre pumps
30,
off.
20, 10.
Thanks, Waypoint Richie, for the fiver.
I really hope we're not plummeting to the ground right now. Knowing the pilot's strategy is always worth a donation.
Thanks a lot, Waypoint Richie. We had a minor issue, yes, as people pointed out, trying to contact approach whilst I was staring at the pedestal for 15 seconds whilst in a critical phase of flight close to the ground. Nothing to come in there again. Why, there's two of us. I'll make sure that £5 goes into the fact we're not plummeting towards the ground. Thanks a lot, Waypoint Richie.
From Kia to Tango departure, passing 3,000 feet.
Walking 1903, so you can't have a toilet break? Absolutely. You just have to ask the crew. So put toilets are used, answering answer Todd's question. So you just have to call the call bell, just say, can we use the toilet please? Absolutely. And go from that way.
Quality to Tango Charlie, direct VATSIM, climb flight level 250.
Direct VATSIM, flight.
Tim says Japan Airlines is a good airline. It's the best. No comment. SOP for Athens, shortcut to VATSIM. Yeah, it did defeat the object of that massive slot waiting on the ground, and then getting a whopping shortcut. I mean, look, we just picked that on the chart. You'd expect with a delay like that to fly the full arrival. I mean, we got to about here and then poof. So that's probably knocked off 3 minutes. But that's very common shortcuts like that on SIDs. I very rarely in Europe fly a full SID. It really depends on where you're flying to, or from, I should say.
Alpaca 2 Golf, turn right heading 0980.
Right 0980, back to the Gulf.
Andy B, did you start the chronometer? Just the elapsed timer, that's all we want to do. Eagle Motion, can you explain RVR shortly? Well, it stands for Runway Visual Range. It's just the visibility or the range in meters, and it's used to on flying approaches or takeoffs. So the RVR is measured in meters in Europe. The requirement for instrument approaches is usually based for an ILS off the RVR, so we're not so worried about the cloud base. But if the RVR required, which is typically 550 meters for a Cat 1 ILS, if it's less than that, we can't actually fly an approach below 1,000 feet. It's what we call an approach ban. And yeah, if it's less than that, it's unlikely we'll see the runway at minimums anyway.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, contact us in the radar 129.8. Have a nice flight, bye.
129.8, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Thanks a lot for the ATC now. Bye bye. Let's turn the music down slightly. Mike, idea operator reveal for 100,000 subscribers. Negative. As I've said countless times before. Probably very obvious who I work for. A well-known Japanese airline carrier. But I also work for Alpaca Airways. But as I've stressed, my operator, he even said if you want to say you work for you, absolutely no problem with us. I just request, like, my privacy to be respected. That's all.
Alpaca 54 Golf. Can we just...
I know there's a massive latency delay here. What's the next airborne?
Roger, expect...
no, sorry. How do you say... hello in Greek again? Is it... I'm trying my best, but I very rarely fly to Greece. Sorry, Marina? Calamara? That's right, Marina just said Calamara. Yes, you did. What did you say? Calamara, isn't it? Something like that. I'm waiting there, chat, before I check in. I know it's something like that. Can you hear Marianne in the background shouting? I can't. Oh dear. Calispera, thank you.
1,000 to go.
Athena, Calispera, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, climb flight level 250 to Varix, request flight level 370.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, hello, continue climb flight level 370.
Climb flight level 370, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, thank you.
Speedbird 26 Alpha, Victor.
370 set once, twice, and we have it in the FMC as well. 3 times margin 21.5, which I don't do on VATSIM because it's for children.
Speedbird 26 Alpha, Victor, contact Athens approach 1.
How is RVR measured, someone asked? I can never remember the name of the instrument. Is it scatterometer or something like that? Cannot remember. We just take the figure from the ATIS tower. Isn't that a squid? It is anti-H1302. I'm pulling everyone's leg. But I genuinely couldn't remember if it was Calispera. I knew it sounded similar to that. And then Mariana, I think, said it sounded like Calamara. Adia Tier 4 on the 737 MAX has come back. Good question. Again, I've been kind of, not giving my public opinion of the whole matter, but could possibly be flying this aircraft in the future. If the European and American authorities are signing this aircraft off as safe, and obviously the testing has been extremely rigorous on this aircraft since the 2 incidents with the MAX, I'd fly it. I have faith in the authorities to the fact that there's so many. It's been so looked into, and this aircraft has been tested beyond kind of like having any of those issues out in the past. And they've quoted said it's 100% possible for those issues with the MCAS system in the past to resurface. They've said that. So operators have said that they're only going to fly this aircraft when they're 100% satisfied that it's safe. So yeah, that's it.
124-712
Leave that to the Met Office. You've got it again, Batten, with regards to what the RVR measurement machine. I think it's scatometer. I can't remember. Hello, goodbye, said. From leaving high school, how long did it take you to become a pilot? I left school at 18, and I was already flying gliders prior to that age. I worked at a local gliding club where they provided free lessons instead of being paid. So, flew solo on my 16th. I completed my PPL when I was 18, and then commercial flight training I started in 2010. Yeah, right at the end of 2009, 2010. So 2 years really. Lars, one of my 737 members who's type rating the aircraft RVR is measured by a scatterometer or a diffusion meter. I'm quite impressed. I remembered it was a scatterometer. I don't know. It was somewhere sat in the back of my head. I think it's pronounced scatterometer. Thanks, Lars. Nico 5, I like the look of the Max. I think it looks great. The engines, though, look very large. I mean, I think they look disproportionate to the aircraft. Lamb PR says, bro, are you playing the new Xbox? I have an Xbox One X. I'm not going to upgrade to the new one just yet. I don't like the day one releases, if I'm honest, of the console. And I quite like the X. It's working fine. I was playing Gears of War 5 until about midnight last night.
Alpaca 7 Papa Romeo reset squawk 7252.
Hello, goodbye. Did you take a bachelor's degree? I did take a foundation degree with the flight training school. I have a foundation degree in airport transport management, but I did that on the side as part of the flight training at Oxford Aviation Academy. But I didn't go to university. Do I regret that? No, because I ended up where I wanted to be and stuff. And I've said it before. I would have gone to university for the wrong reasons. Who here in chat? Freshers year, your first year. I know how little work you actually do because I only went to see my friends to go out the weekends the first year, and it was certainly not, well, it didn't seem to do too much work. Sim 737 pilot won't let me post a link at Google 737 Max design flaw on CNN website. Interesting. Yeah, like I said, I won't give my full opinionated view on that, seeing that I'll possibly fly that aircraft in the future, and I don't think it's the platform really on YouTube to say those sort of things. And like I said, my streams are relaxing, entertainment primarily, but educational for you guys at home for simming. And I've stressed this before, if you're a real life pilot or in training, don't take on what I'm saying. It's just a bit of fun. But everything I tell you is based off my knowledge. Nearly 4,000 hours on the aircraft. So. Yeah, I need to look into that, because obviously I don't have... My YouTube settings are set not to allow people to post links, which is obviously very sensible. But I would be happy for members to post links. I'll see if there's an option for that to be allowed, because I think plenty of times people have requested to post links.
16 Sierra X-ray, contact Nicosia, radar frequency 125.5.
Cool. Right, let's have a little look here on flight time information. So we've got a nice little cruise segment here, around 45 minutes. It's the perfect flight time for a stream. Hour 30 minutes I found. I was kind of umming and ahhing about doing 2 sectors this evening, and I did notice that Tel Aviv was online this evening as well, which is very close to Larnaca, and I think it would have been a bit too... The super short sectors, for single pilot operation while streaming, it's a lot of information to pack in, and I always, as you know, go into a lot of detail about what I'm doing, what I'm briefing. I mean, for a 2-pilot crew, a short sector is intensive enough, but on a sim, with live ATC and getting your briefings done, it's very difficult, and the experience would have been as great as I thought. So generally when I do 2 sectors, I look for 2 flights around an hour long. That's a sweet spot. Tel Aviv to Larnaca, it's less than 30 minutes. It's 30-minute flight time. It's very short. So I've done plenty of streams like that before, but I just fancy just doing the 1 sector this evening, if I'm honest, because I knew I'd be busy with the event. But I will try and squeeze in some more 2 sector days soon. we still need to go to Israel. We need to visit Tel Aviv anyway. And I did download, because I was thinking of doing that. There was a fantastic freeware Tel Aviv scenery available from the Tel Aviv VATSIM link site. I think it's on the X-Plane forum as well. If you type in Tel Aviv Ben Gurion International Scenery, there's a fantastic freeware one available. Befes 777, so if you're a real pilot, remember bus or go around. That's something I've not done at work. James MP, you still wearing Mariana's dad's Crocs? They're on my feet as we speak. Sebo 101 is getting a bachelor in aviation while COVID is happening. A good idea before attending flight school, in your opinion? I just started my first year after I got rejected from KLM flight school. Sorry to hear that, Sebo 101. Look, my honest opinion, and it's my opinion, everyone's entitled to an opinion, is now is not the best time to start flight training. The UK Union has even spoke out against this as well. There will be opportunities, guys. It will come round. And I don't know about you, there's a sense of optimism this week with a lot of drug companies posting about possible what's the word? Cures. Oh my goodness! Honestly, when you're streaming, your mind goes blank sometimes. Yes, not. Oh my god. Vaccine. Thanks, Mariana. I had to shout. Mariana's going. Mariana's going. Vaccine. Vaccine. She's not in the room with me. Looks optimistic, and the airlines will soon bounce back, I'm sure. But they've taken such a hit this year, you know, financially. I thought someone was talking to me there. Vaccines. Look at you, vaccines. Yeah, I knew that was the word. Adja, do you still use Thrustmaster's Airbus joystick? I do. I have the Thrustmaster TCA Airbus size stick. Really nice. Listen, VATSIMs. I'm so annoyed. I forgot to turn the latency down to low. It's on the normal one. I even have it on my post-it note. I have a pre-stream checklist. Everything I like to check. And it's the one thing I added quite recently. Is the fact I forgot to turn the latency down. So it's like a 25-second delay between me talking and you hearing me. Right, there's 370 anyway. Check the pressurization, which we should have been doing every 10,000 feet. That's all set. And I think it's what we want it with the automation. Lovely.
7261 on the box, Alpaca 840.
So reaching then, right over the Greek Islands. It would have been lovely to have actually flown in low weather, but pretty cloudy anyway. But over the Greek Islands, just south of Turkey, and then over the Eastern Mediterranean. Here's our destination, Cyprus. And excuse my Greek, but I don't exactly know where Larnaca is. This is why I always check the map. I think it's here, airport there anyway. But nice. First time we've been here on one stream before in the MD-80. First time on VATSIM, so great. I know pre-stream checklist. Aditya finds it very amusing. It just has a list of about 10 items. So I'll tell you what it is. Have I finished the video description and thumbnail? Yes. Have I updated Nightbot? Have I filed my VATSIM online? And make sure I launch X-Plane 11 in X-Organizer, which redoes the scenery.ini file. Make sure it's in the correct order. Active Sky XP. Check the weather and route, which I didn't do. Forgot to put it back onto the live weather. Xpilot Connect. Prepare AviTab. Load Sim Toolkit Pro. Check the volumes in Streamlabs, my streaming software, so everything's set up correctly. Test the mic. Turn on music, or make sure the song's ready to the start. Turn on slow mode in chat, and check the latency. So it's quite a few things to check, and I have that just written down. Make sure. Generally, I always do a test flight. I haven't got time for this one. And when it's in Europe, generally, I'm pretty confident the scenery's on installed correctly. So all I did was make sure spawn in Larnaca, make sure that's correct. Spawn in Greece, and then the flight will do lifetime.
Alpaca 7 Papa Romeo, contact Nicosia radar frequency 15.5.
125.5 Alpaca 7 Papa Romeo, bye-bye.
Alpaca 57 Kilo, contact
Lots of alpacas online today, so cool.
Next year, radar 125 decimal 5, Alpaca 57 kilo. Bye now. Bye-bye.
Thanks for subscribing, Dimitrisko there. Jen Batten, I fly for the military. We have a lot of rejoiners from the airlines, not looking great for a while. I know, Jen, I've got friends in the Air Force, and I know a lot of guys have gone back to flying their previous aircraft. It's sort of a sign of the times here. Lunchbox, always love a nice night flight, me too. And I'm glad you're enjoying it there. Echo Mike November, have you ever suffered a somatographic illusion in your flying experience? Good question. So a somatographic illusion, that's the... basically if you can't see anything outside but the seat of the pants sensation. So if the aircraft accelerates, or you have the sensation of the aircraft pitching up, it's very dangerous, especially if you don't have accurate instrumentation. And it all falls back to one thing, which is trust your instrumentation. Now, on an aircraft like this, I've never suffered from this sensation, because you begin after a few hours experience to anticipate and feel what the aircraft's doing. But if you didn't have your instruments, you'd imagine if you're accelerating in the aircraft, it gives you this sensation of a pitching up attitude, so you might instinctively pitch down. And I can tell you now, there's been a lot of aircraft that have crashed because of this sensation on your body, in your ear. It's all from the cochlea of your ear, that you think the aircraft's doing something but it's not, and they've reacted with the input, and it all boils down to the thing here: trust your instrumentation, guys. These things can go wrong, but very, very rarely, so do trust them. Brilliant question. Dominic Orsini, any opinions on the Honeycomb Aviation Alpha Bravo flight control systems? I've never tried them. I mean, for me, a control column, if I was doing a bit more hands-on flying, I'd probably appreciate it a bit more, and I've heard they are great. I quite like my little joystick because, you know, 95% of the time I'm with the autopilot in flying commercial airliners, but even when I'm flying around GA line aircraft, the joystick feels great. So I'm not so... I'd fully respect why, if you're at home and you want to fly the 737, you'd like a control column. But for me, I quite like the feel of the joystick for any type of aircraft in a desktop sim. That's just my opinion. Peter Walsh, evening Captain, bit late tonight, glad I haven't missed much. Hope Mariner Jack and yourself are well, thank you very much. Bit of a strange one I'm going to say here as well. I received an email which I need to reply to, and I don't know if you're listening tonight, from a follower who's been blind from birth. Really beautiful email from this guy, and I need to get back to you. I've just been very busy this week and I'm sitting on a few mails here. So yeah, Roy Heap, if you are listening, he's I'll tell you a little bit about this guy. He's a blind subscriber, 71 years old, and he's been blind, I think, for his whole life. He said he's an aviation nutcase, loved the streams, and yeah, it's incredible. I think he wrote this using some form of rail system. So fantastic, Roy. If you're listening, I hope you are, and if you play this back, you know, I did get your email, and this one obviously stuck out here, and we'll email you back as well. And it was a lovely email you sent, and I'm so happy that you enjoy those videos. Fantastic that you can get such a wonderful experience out of the streams. Faze, what's your altitude in meters? There is a way of converting it, but even easier. Push this button. There you go. We're at 11,278 meters. Charlie Akers, anyone have any idea of when I'll be invited to the Discord server? Charlie Akers, I wish you'd contacted me sooner. So if there's any members here who are not in the Discord server, firstly, I'm going to tell you how to do it, but secondly, if that doesn't work, get in contact with me. Drop me an email. I get hundreds, but I do sift through them to make sure that, you know, members always get any priority. And I don't say that with the regular subscribers, but these guys, I need to get into Discord because that's part of the membership. Yeah, what you need to do, type in Google if you're a member and you're not in Discord. Discord YouTube synchronization. Follow the steps there. Make sure you do the Discord sync part in the Discord web browser, not the app, not the desktop app, not your mobile app, but on Google, on your web, on the Discord web browser app. Follow the steps I've just told you, and you'll get it. If not, drop me a message, and we'll get you sorted out. Thanks, listening in as well.
Taxi, hold short runway 16 and next
Alex, are you doing the return sector? Not this evening. I hope Roy's here as well, Andy. Me too. I'll drop him an email. Fabi, what's your altitude in nautical miles? Oh, about 5 or 6. That's a complete wild guess.
20,000 for 25,000. Sacrificing Lima.
Look at all these crazy questions coming in. What's your altitude in American football fields? Yeah, double-decker buses. La la la. Right, 225 miles from top of descent. Look on the weather radar. Something's painting ahead here. So it's a very basic weather radar function in desktop simulators. At this altitude here, depending on the weather radar system, if it's the older system where we have a tilt function, you'll be able to quickly determine the height of the layers. On the newer functions, we have an ability to actually take slices out of flight levels, which is quite cool. In the ZIBO mod of Active Sky, it's... yeah, I can't tell you the height of this, if it's above us, below us. I mean, visually is the key thing, but at night with no moon, it's very difficult to see, even with full moon. So we'll crack on anyway. Watch this, we'll probably get severe turbulence. The aircraft will roll over. But the key thing is not to penetrate any areas of red associated with returns of thunderstorms. Look at you guys, your conversions. What's your altitude in your Packers? Frontier, you should play Infinite Flight sometime. I think that's a little bit more, you know, arcadey for my sort of work here, Frontier 18. But I think for the younger guys, nice little fun simulator. Might be completely wrong on that. Dube 849, evening captain. During the flare, what is the maximum pitch you should flare to? Well, there is no set max. Well, there is. Around 10 degrees, you're going to be striking the tail on the runway. But we're not concentrating on that. You fly in your typical attitude, which for flat 30 is around 1 degree above the horizon. Flat 40, your attitude is roughly on the horizon there. And when you're checking at 30 feet, you're only looking at one thing, which is outside at the end of the runway. So you're not really looking down at your attitude here to touchdown. Now obviously if you hold off the flare for a smooth touchdown, all you're doing to maintain level flight as you slow down is increasing your attitude to maintain the same amount of lift to maintain level flight, which is obviously risking a tail strike. So yeah, on an 800 or longer, the risk of tail strike is quite high on this aircraft, so you have to really be careful with your rotation rate on takeoff and your flare during landing, so you don't hold off that attitude. But yeah, your attitude is higher than 9-10 degrees and you're right over the ground, you're going to be quite close to striking the tail then. For flat 1 takeoffs, guys, on the 7.3, which we don't use or seldom use unless it's for performance reasons, the minimum tail clearance is around 30 centimeters from the tail on rotation. Now that is not much. That is not much. It's 33 is the exact figure. I did say 5 to 6 nautical miles. It's 6.09 nautical miles at 37,000 feet. Right, let's have a little look at the VATSIM map here. Ah, about to fly over roads. That's actually where we went into last time from Athens, which wasn't that long ago, from about a month ago. That's Romeo Delta Sierra is the VOR on the island, just here. Looks like we've got a full ATC for the entire sector. Whoa! Ah, yes, there is a nice little conga line between Athens and Larnaca, yes. In fact, there's quite a large chunk of traffic ahead of us. But I don't think there'll be too much of a delay. There's a lot of aircraft, I think, just going from Tel Aviv as well, which was the sector I was thinking of doing. But nice for them to have a bit of traffic this evening. Phase fees, do you find the FMC as real as in real life? Yeah, the 737 ZIBO FMC is lacking a lot of the additional features. I think PMDG's FMC is a little bit more in depth. Now ZIBO's gone to a lot of work to ensure that the FMC's main features, so the features that we use every day, is realistic. So it is. I'm pretty happy with how it works. But I'd say the PMDG FMC is a little bit more complete. I don't know if you guys have watched my earliest tutorial on FMC tips and tricks. That was done with the NGX, and I could do many of the additional features here. But it's quite one of FMC and automation, the two things which ZIBO is still spending a lot of time on refining. It's very hard to model accurately, especially in X-plane, which kind of gives you a much more realistic environment than prepared, in my opinion. So it's to program that accurately, much more challenging. And he's done a cracking job, which is why I moved over to this sim. Mark Smith, does anyone have the alpaca colour values and flight data sim logo? I'm attempting to make a Euro Truck Simulator skin. Coming soon, guys, to a stream near you. Would you guys like me to play some Euro Truck Simulator? I have tried playing some other games before War Thunder, but Alpaca Logistics, guys have been poking me for about the last 2 or 3 months to do a Euro Truck Simulator stream. I have it installed. I even have the extra pack thing via Steam for unusual loads, so you can carry, I don't know, boats and goodness knows what, but I think if we do an initial stream, I only have a controller, by the way. I don't have a steering wheel. I'm an Xbox controller. I think it will work. I've tried it, fine. But I understand on the first stream you have to start a company. You don't even have enough money to buy a truck. So after probably the first stream is establishing our Alpaca Logistics company and getting up to the point where we buy a truck, and then we might do some more. We'll see. Phase fees, can I know which airline you are flying? That's a very popular answer question. All I do, phase fees, is ask if you can, or phase is ask you to respect my privacy on that. My operator is well aware of what I do. Thank you very much, First Officer Jim. Oh my goodness me, it was a fictitious account. Thank you for posting that. And yes, as I've said many times before, I work for a UK airline, and just respect my privacy on that one. I appreciate that. Thank you. Fazay, can you please increase cost index? It's taking forever. Well, we're doing decimal 77. It's not bad. You would make a great airline pilot. It's a short sector, but 180 miles from top of descent. I have an Xbox controller, Niles, so I wouldn't even need to use keyboard and mouse. And once you set the cruise control on, you know, it's just steer. And now am I right in thinking that when I play Euro Truck Simulator, I've got to stay in the cab view? Is it cheating if you go outside when you say reverse? I've no clue how to reverse a trainer, by the way. Nora Lincoln, hit up some Asia destinations. Really loved your Paro stream. Yeah, that's another. We still have a 737 in Paro. We should probably position out there from some point there. Adam says very bad weather. Let's have a look at the latest meta. In fact, ZIBO said, because he noticed on our Across the Pond stream, when I requested the meta, it was broken, so we'll see if he's fixed that. We need the code for Larnaca, Lima Charlie, Lima Kilo. Sim77 pilot. I buoyed it up to 0.8. All that extra virtual fuel burn for the sake of 2 minutes. Phase, can you explain about level change? Absolutely. So level change is a basic pitch mode on the 7.3. If I was to set a lower level and push level change, do you see that lightning? Was that lightning? I think that's a bit of a thunderstorm below us. If I was to select a lower level and push level change, the aircraft would, with the automation engaged as it is, it'll go for idle thrust, and then it'll pitch for speed, and conversely in climb, you set a higher level, select level change, you'll get M1 engage, and the aircraft again will pitch for speed. It's a lovely mode for descending in. It's great because it's the quickest way to get down. Yes, it's cheating apparently if you go outside the cab when reversing. Oh, great. I'll need to practice then. Oh, everyone's talking about the weather. Yeah, let's see if that's updated here. Let's have a look here in Larnaca. Ooh. So we've got a few clouds at 2,500 feet. A few CBs. Now, I have a setting in Active Sky where CBs are not depicted as thunderstorms because it's a little bit more realistic, because thunderstorms TS would then be a thunderstorm. 18 degrees, QNH is 1010, so we might be a little bit lucky.
I think heading towards Lima, Charlie, Lima. Heading towards Lima, Charlie, Lima, Kilo, altitude, flight level 230.
He's having a nightmare.
Egypt Air 1323, no need for all that. We have you under radar contact. Continue climb. Are you able for flight level 370?
Affirm.
Egypt Air 1323.
So he's quite a young guy on VATSIM, maybe his first time or so. There was a thunderstorm in the area when I flew on X-Plane a few days ago using real-world weather. Yeah, the weather, I mean, CBs and thunderstorms are forecast this evening. And we just, looks like we're flying over a thunderstorm at the moment, so...
Alpaca 8 Echo Golf, continue flying flight level
outside the window. So I think this is being depicted as a thunderstorm. I did see some lightning.
Alpaca 8 Echo Golf, be advised your voice, software or microphone is distorting your voice. I can understand what you say, but it's coming distorted.
Doesn't seem to be flashing too much, to be fair. So we'll start descent soon, or descent planning. No need for all that. Yeah, you did give a lot of information. FS 777, previous stream you said the amber bar was supposed to be 2 to 3 knots below overspeed. Now it's even disappeared. It could even not be there, so that's a lot more realistic now. In the cruise, it depends on so many different parameters. If you're close to Coffin Corner, you might have a little yellow amber bar, but most of the time there's nothing. So this is very close to what I'd expect now. But there's not often a maximum manoeuvre margin. It's nothing there at all. It's not required. So yeah, he's fixed that. It's very hard, you know. I've been sat here for 10 years in this aircraft in the real life, and when someone asks me questions like that, you think, I don't actually really have to have paid too much attention to it because we don't fly anywhere close to those speeds. And I was actually looking at many old photos I've taken over the years, and there's sometimes a very small max manoeuvre margin, but most of the time none at all. As I said, it depends on your configuration, your weight there. Right, I think it's a good time to start setting up for our approach here into Larnaca. Let's see if I can grab an ATIS. 126550. Let's try on box 2.
Runner 2552 Echo Charlie, expect box 1 Charlie arrival, ILS.
So this is the problem in real life as well. There's two pilots. You then get pilot monitoring to get the weather, and the pilot flying would take the radio. You can hear the ATIS and the ATC. It's impossible. You know. So what I'm just going to do, guys, is get the ATIS on text, because it's impossible to talk to ATC as well, unless you tell him I'm just going to go off the frequency to get the ATIS, but I'll read it to you anyway. So, Larnaca arrival departure, information Juliet, so I'll just write this down, at 1900, it's 15 minutes old. Runway use is 22, expect ILS approach runway 22, transition level is 110, surface wind 340 at 3 knots, visibility 10k, clouds few at 2,500, few CBs at 3,000 feet, temperature is 17, dew point 13, QNH is 1000, which we 1010. Attention to all pilots, no radar is provided. Birds in the vicinity of the airport confirm information Juliet on first contact. So there's no ATC. Let me start again before my voice cracks like a young teenager. There's no radar here in Larnaca, so we have to fly a procedural approach, which would make sense as to why they are limiting the amount of aircraft coming in here. Unlike a large international airport, or even a smaller international airport which has radar control, there'll only be a procedural approach available. And on procedural approaches, generally you can only have one aircraft on the approach at a time. So that would explain why it was slowing down the arrivals into Larnaca. So we're expecting a Bonnet 1 Romeo. And I think ILS X-ray is the best one from the holding here at Larnaca. Now, looking at the VATSIM map, I think that's what they're doing. They're basically holding over the top of Larnaca, and then they're flying the procedural approach. So let's really realistic when there's no radar available. They can't see where you are, and they're very much dependent on position reports from other aircraft and distances. So they might be worthwhile. We'll tune up the Larnaca VOR and we'll keep that active, because in Greece it's very common for them for you to ask what radial you're on.
810 clears left direct 3.
And your DME distance for descent clearances, because they can't see you. So they're very reliant on that to give you the clearance there. I personally don't like it at all. I've been to Corfu recently,
Alpaca 82.
and
Continue climb flight level
they're trying to get you to descend with aircraft all around you based off your position report. So without radar, it's a lot more challenging.
Austrian 810 next report.
So we're very likely, I should think, from this position, direct entry into the hold at Larnaca, and then descend, and then once we're clear for the approach, we'll fly outbound for the procedure. So that is why they slowed down their arrivals. The capacity here to take the amount of traffic is a lot less. I hope that sort of makes sense anyway. Right, so we've got the charts we want. Right, let's hand over control to Jim. 107 miles from top of descent. So let's get the last page of the operational flight plan. There we go. So descent page 250 below 100. Get some forecast winds in.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, contact Nicosia radar frequency 1275345.
5345. Sorry, just confirm that frequency. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha.
Frequency 125.5.
125.5. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Good day.
Bye bye.
What did you say before? 125.57535.
63 direct
You got there anyway.
Direct better for speed basic.
Alpine 5 Whiskey Romeo, descent flight level 190.
Descent flight level 190, Alpaca 5 Whiskey Romeo.
Alpaca 57 Hotel, hold over Daros. Descent flight level
Thanos?
230.
Did he hold over Thanos?
Hold Alpaca 5. Hold over Daros and
Oh, Daros. We said Thanos. Radar Calispera Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, maintaining flight level 370, inbound to Iveno.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, Calispera from Nicosia, identified runway 22 at Larnaca, Bonnet 1 Romeo.
Expect runway 22 and the Bonnet 1 Romeo, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha.
Lot 3 Tango Foxtrot,
Perfect.
descent flight level 170.
Just turn him down slightly.
Alpine 7 Papa Romeo, descent flight level 250, hold over Daros.
Hold over Thanos. Love it. ZIBO, I keep forgetting to mention this here. We just need to remove this dash line. It's not there on the descent page.
Alpaca 7 Papa Romeo. Stand by. Alpaca 7 Papa Romeo, do you read?
241 and 98.
Yeah, are you proceeding to Daros? Confirm.
Thanos.
Direct Daros, thank you, Alpha 7 Papa Romeo.
Okay, hold over Daros, inbound course 110, descent flight level 250.
That's okay. So they're holding away at an unpublished hold, but I think that kind of represents the how busy it is.
Flight level 250.
Apologies, 250, Alpha 7 Papa.
1010.
Alpaca 5 Whiskey Romeo, go ahead.
Just the information on the weather update. Most of the weather seems to be approaching the field.
Who's that?
It's just mainly
I know who that guy is. That's the guy who's the Swiss radar controller, the Zurich controller who screwed me around one time.
Alpaca 7 Whiskey Romeo, the weather seems to be moving north-northeast.
Recognise the voice. Who remembers that Zurich stream? I don't know who this guy is, but he's always joining in the streams now. What's he asking for? Weather?
Wizard 814, contact Nicosia, 124.2.
4, 3 times height, 37,000 feet, 4812, 3 times our height.
1242.
A little bit of situation awareness regarding the descent points. Holding was due to thunderstorms, I heard. I should think that, and also primarily the amount of traffic they can get in here, because there's no radar available.
Yes, Nicosia 124.2.
Let's have a little look at this approach then. 110.3, which we're going to leave on standby for now, because they'll want our DME distances and radials for descents.
130.2, lot 3 Tango Fox, yes, Carter.
Yes, sir.
Alpaca 7 Whiskey Romeo. Descent flight level 170.
So
Confirm you're
for the
holding over
courses.
Daros or Atlas.
Hold it, Daros. Oh, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Okay, hold over Otessa. Hold over Otessa. Inbound course, your present heading.
Hold over. Oh, sorry. Uh-oh.
Alpaca 7 Papa Romeo.
Minimum is 209. But it's a learning experience, guys. Especially on VATSIM.
Alpaca 57 Kilo, descent flight level 170.
Descent flight level 170, Alpaca 57.
It's just alpacas. I'm sorry to anyone else that has perhaps wanted to do a little flight to Larnaca in a Ryanair or a Speedbird. Gales. Right, so I've got everything set up here for the approach now. Everything's plugged in. So, coming in via Bonnet then, guys. Flight level 110 above.
5 Whiskey Romeo, maintain flight level 150.
Maintain flight 150. I feel bad for that now, I just got caught live.
Say again?
Apologies, I feel bad now about that.
Oh, don't worry about it,
No,
mate.
you don't need to feel bad, sir.
We always make mistakes. We all make mistakes.
If you want, I can vector you back to Daros.
Well, hold it on test now. Alpaca 5 Whiskey Romeo.
So we've got Dasny, Vadas Bonnet, that's the beginning of the arrival, needs to be at above flight level 110. Now we're going to be much higher than that, just to show you if you temporarily delete this. 132, well not much higher, 132. Daros to be at above 9,000, Atlas to be at above 6,000, Otessa to be at above 5,000, and then arriving at Lima Charlie Alpha, where we can anticipate some sort of hold, or by the sounds of it, a little bit earlier. Just going to turn ATC down a bit, guys.
Romeo, runway 22 on Larnaca,
Quality 2 Tango Charlie,
Doesn't
Nicosia.
seem to be working again now. It used to work. I think it resets itself in X-Pilot all the
Quality 2
time.
Tango Charlie, Nicosia identified. Bonnet 1 Romeo, runway 22.
Bonnet 1 Romeo, runway 22.
Yeah, I'll turn it down a little bit lower.
Alpaca 7 Papa Romeo, descent flight level
So,
190.
that's the arrival. Just a nice straight line towards the Larnaca VOR, which we have active. You can see here, we've checked it all to Larnaca VOR. That's if you lose radio communications, what you should do. We've already got the ATIS, and RNAV 1 GNSS required.
Alpaca 5 Whiskey Romeo would like to make an approach.
And
Say
then
again?
transition.
Would like to make an approach to
Who's
You would
that?
like to make an approach? Yes, stand by. First, I need you to sequence you.
Yeah,
because
patience,
Larnaca
buddy,
does not have radar to
patience.
give you vector,
I think I know who this guy is.
proceed direct Otessa for
It's
now.
a very enthusiastic member of mine. No, he's not a member, he's a subscriber, and he was the controller who controlled me at Zurich. And he's just a little bit too enthusiastic, so he's always on requesting unusual things. So yeah, you know, it's all a learning experience. So take your time, be patient, and you'll get in, buddy. You'll get in. I know you're listening. Right, as I said, we're going to come in via Larnaca. If we're not going to hold before here, we're definitely going to probably hold out Larnaca VOR for the procedural approach. Once we have been cleared approach, no vectors here because there's no radar available. We fly from 4,000 feet. Larnaca outbound, we'll check the track here, 062 until 8 DME.
Hold over Daros, descent, maintain flight level 230.
So Larnaca, there we are, 062 for 8 DME, so that is depicted correctly. And then we're going to make a left turn onto final, max speed 200 knots. So what I'm going to do here is at Charlie India, sorry,
Alpaca 5 Whiskey Romeo.
at Charlie India 22, which is just here, 1,500 feet. I'm going to change that to 1,500 feet or above.
Alpaca 5 Whiskey Romeo, proceed direct to
Which will
Otessa.
ensure a continuous descent, otherwise the aircraft will level off early. And then here at this waypoint 8 DME, I just want to put 180 knots or below, which VNAV is planning anyway, 174. Just ensures the aircraft, if there's any changes to that plan, it will ensure we're at 180 knots turning final. I'll configure the aircraft to make sure it's there. So yeah, we'll use LNAV and VNAV, procedural approach. Turning basin onto final here, you want to be flat 5, 180 knots. Maximum really. And then we'll intercept the ILS, the final approach course 221. It checks in the FMC, we've got 221 on the courses.
Whatever is convenient for you due to weather.
And there we go. Intercept the ILS a little bit before there. We'll pass 1,500 feet at 4.9 DME, that's that waypoint here. and down to the minimums, which for CATSI aircraft 209, and that's set. RVR required is 1,000 meters. It's 10k today, so no issues. If you have to go around, I'll push Toga. Go around, we'll then select flat 15, set go around for us, raise the landing gear with a positive rate of climb, 400 feet, we'll select LNAV. We're going to climb straight ahead until we're 3 DME from Lama? Didn't do that on purpose. 3 miles from Lima. And then we're going to make our way to the NDB, Larnaca NDB 432. I can't believe I did that. You guys got me going llamas, alpacas, all sorts here. 432. And then once we're at the NDB, left turn, 138 from the NDB to Bossis, and then we'll climb to 2,000 feet. Very low missed approach altitude here, 2,000 feet, something to bear in mind. And that's coding the FMC 2,000 feet as well. So that's it, that's the approach all briefed.
Alpaca 5 Whiskey Romeo, contact Larnaca, 130
select the aerodrome charts. So when he says ATC services terminated, I think he's like radar control. So runway 22, nice long runway here, 2,900 meters. We'll aim for the first exit here, high speed at Echo, and then that's great. Exit puts us straight onto the terminal, and then we'll just request parking on stand.
Alpaca 57 kilo, able to exit holding and continue the bonnet 1 Romeo.
3 miles from Lama, good one.
Okay, exit holding, follow bonnet 1
and then,
Romeo.
yeah, we'll vacate Echo, we'll come in off, we've got Whiskey or Victor to enter the apron. Whiskey or Victor, and then we'll park on one of the stands. Wicked. So you know you're happy with the landing performance. I've done it so many times. It's around 2,400. We have to check this every single landing on the OPT. But I'm going to go flat 30. Order brake 2 because we do need to vacate at Echo, and we'll use reverse thrust. And that's it. Briefing's all done.
Alpaca 84 Yankee, Nicosia radar identified. Runway 22 at Larnaca, bonnet 1 Romeo.
Look at that, look. So another question I get asked a lot, why doesn't the top of descent ring always intersect with this one? In this case it has done, but bear in mind some arrivals are not necessarily quite straight in. This worked out quite nicely with how VNAV's programmed, but if you're doing a loop around yourself or going outbound, this is just, remember, this is 3 times our height. It's a rough idea where top of descent is. If it doesn't quite correspond with where it is, it's because the arrival's a little bit longer, or the star goes back on in itself. It's just a rough idea of where top of descent is. Undercover Llama pilot. Steve Mayer says good evening to Mariana. Hope you're feeling better. She's feeling much better, Steve. I'll talk on her behalf. She's in the lounge. I'm sure she can answer for you. Toga simulations, yeah, no problem, buddy. No problem. Just take your time and keep it nice and chill on online. You know, be professional, and you're a very good operator. I know you are. So keep yourself nice, relaxed and calm, and I know sometimes you like to shout out, but there's definitely no need for that. I know you're here, buddy. I know you're here.
Flight level 390, inbound Eveno.
Beauty 3160, Nicosia radar identified. Kalispera, sir. Runway 22 at Larnaca, bonnet 1 Romeo.
So request descent, even though we can anticipate delay. But let's at least go down with the profile.
And clear for the bonnet 1 Romeo, Beauty 3160.
Ryanair 417, turn right, heading 070.
Right turn heading 070, Ryanair 417.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, request descent.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, descent flight level 190.
Descent flight level 190, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. So you'll notice, because we've passed top of descent already, what the automation does, it doesn't stay in VNAV, it reverts to altitude hold. Don't select VNAV, because that's just going to dive the aircraft to catch the profile in path without configuration. So go level change, that mode that we talked about earlier, and we're going to leave it at decimal 77. The aircraft will then accelerate, and then when we're back on profile, we'll reselect VNAV. What I could also do is select a higher descent speed, but because we're anticipating a holding, there's not much point planning a much higher descent speed, if that makes sense. Right, yes, top of descent in chat. Toga Simulations, I haven't flown any events for a while, sorry, just got to get used to busy events again. Yeah, exactly, Toga Sim. So before you jump straight in onto a flight, you know, especially in a busy event like that, get yourself a bit more comfortable with the flight.
Ryanair 417, turn right, direct Larnaca VOR, Lima Charlie Alpha.
Right turn, direct Larnaca VOR.
Yeah, there are thunderstorms around, and look ahead as well on the weather radar.
Turkish 5,
Some have been depicted here.
level 19
But it's yeah, I mean that's fine to fly over, but in real life, if you knew that was a cell, I'd probably be diverging left or right. But the depiction of it in the sim isn't entirely that realistic. But in real life, you know, an active thunderstorm, you'd see it at night unless you're an IMC. It's pretty clear. Vasilis, you live in Nicosia and there are thunderstorms here. I don't know if that will affect you in Larnaca. It could do, Vasilis. There's been lots of reports of it. Jack McKenzie, tips for getting into VATSIM. If you type in YouTube, there's a fantastic YouTuber called... I always forget his name now. He's a Dutch guy. He's got some fantastic VATSIM tutorials, even ones I referenced when I started flying on the network. He's actually a pilot in training, but he used to be just a simming enthusiast. I forget his name now. Aviation Pro. Type in YouTube Aviation Pro. He's got some fantastic Discord. Discord? Oh my god, I'm losing it. He's got some fantastic VATSIM intro flights for you to check out.
Thank you,
Demetrius, hello to you. Haven't seen you for a while. Greetings from Vancouver, Captain. It's been a minute. It's been more than a minute, Demetrius. We're flying in Greece again. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Will Bewley's here as well. Good evening to you, William. Aviation Pro, that's it. Yeah, great videos. Really nice insight for people who are new to simming. I really like his approach here to simming, and good core knowledge. And I think he's in his flight training now. I always forget his name. I know, I always forget everyone's names. But, yeah, he's commented on a few of my videos before. He's a nice guy. G-Face 100. Well, hello all. It's all the members all coming in at once. Where are we at SitRep Flight? So we've just started our descent into Larnaca, and we can anticipate some holding.
Ryanair 417, contact Larnaca. Radio service is terminated. The frequency is 130.2.
That helps.
130.2. Thank you for outstanding service, Ryanair 417.
Very. Ryanair's giving all the praise today. Outstanding.
Quality 2 Tango Charlie, descent.
Brad's here as well from Australia. Good morning to you, sir. Oh god, I really need to go to Australia, guys. But if I stream in the evening, a little later, that would be an okay time for guys in Australia, but it'll be early in the morning for you. Oh no, it's Fiona here. Fiona Mayer, Steve's wife. That's an outstanding comment.
Alpaca 7 Papa Romeo, turn left, proceed direct.
I'm not concentrating, look, I'm too busy looking at chat. So yeah, I've dipped below profile. Let's go back to VNAV, back to our descent target speed of 280 knots, 283. And VNAV will now do 1,000 feet per minute to recapture the profile.
Alpaca 84 Yankee,
well, we haven't been told to anticipate any delay yet. And there we are, inbound to Bonnick.
I need you a couple of miles.
And you can see, look, the VOR is also online, so we go over. Well, the courses are not aligned, obviously, but the RMI is correct. But I don't want to change the courses because I need them for the approach.
Thank you. Descent flight level 250.
There we are, so VNAV profile's coming back in now. We might get a message drag required, but I should think by the time we're back on the profile, we'll be back at our target speed, so it's worked out quite nicely. Brad, it's 5:30 AM here. See what I do for you, buddy. Brad, that is so early. I take a lot of credit for you guys, and I know one of our members as well, Jordan, always takes part in the group flights, and he has to get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. It's crazy.
Alpaca 7 Papa Romeo,
Adam Bullcom, who are the ATC people you're talking to? That's other people on the VATSIM network, VATSIM ATC network. Fiona Mayer says, rest assured I will. Love it.
Alpaca 84 Yankee, descend flight level 270.
Descend flight level 270, wait for you.
Awesome, guys.
Alpaca 22 Golf,
400 likes in the video. Thank you so much to all of you. If you have just tuned in, we're in descent now into Larnaca. We've not been told to hold at the moment, but we can expect a delay. Remember, this is a procedural airport only, no radar available, so they are very reliant on position reports from other aircraft, and only probably one aircraft on the approach at a time. And if you go have a look at the VATSPY or VATSIM map, you'll see how busy it is.
Let me know about your direct to Otessa.
Roger, we'll contact Larnaca 130.2 and...
Brad, that Adam is so professional. I know we've got a couple of young members. Adam, in particular, is one of our young French members. His ATC, I mean, I don't use this word often, but I will use it now, is exquisite. It's really good. It's really good, Adam. And we have another new member, Swifty. He sounds fantastic. He's very professional as well. Very, very proud. Black Cobra, from where can I get emergency turn after the takeoff in reality? Is it on the takeoff performance page, but where can I get it in the sim? Good question, Black Cobra. So my operator, we have our emergency turns, we've actually renamed them now, which are from the performance department. So the performance department will look at the terrain, look at any obstacles, which could be an issue in the event of an engine failure on the SID, and then they tell us where to go. So it is operator specific.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, hold over Daros.
As you go.
Hold over Fados, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. I just said Fados because it's fun.
50.
I know it's Daros.
30. 20. 10.
Thanks a lot, Boy Borman, for your donation there.
I can still remember my first ever VATSIM flight. Had to disconnect because I had a panic attack, lol.
Oh no!
Just got an email, my socks will lard up shortly.
Outstanding, Boy Borman.
40.
Thanks a lot for the £5.
20.
And I can still remember my first VATSIM flight. I was nervous even before mine, Boy Borman, when I was to do this in real life. A little bit of a panic attack. Well, I'm sure you're now confidently flying on the network, and your socks are on the way. Great news, thank you. And thank you very much, Hickory 002 from Malta for the £2. Hello, Captain. Hope all is well. I'm still reeling over the cross the pond last Saturday. Did it in 3 hours, just one go around. Take care as always. Did you take the Concorde, I think you said? So yeah, that's impressive. Awesome stuff, Hickory 002. Yeah, you said you had a slight issue. Didn't you go around? I bet you showed me a video on the that flight sim preview thing, but amazing. Thank you very much. Right, anyway, we'll hold at Thanos, and we'll make the Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Just confirm the hold direction and inbound track for hold at Daros.
Say again?
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, just confirm the hold at Daros, the turn direction and the inbound track. It's non-standard, you see.
The inbound track is according to Bonnet 1 Romeo, and it's a left turn to right turn, so according to whatever is convenient, you have weather on your left side or the right side.
Thank you very much. We'll hold at Daros inbound as per the start, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. So yeah, it's a non-standard hold. He said convenient as to weather, but I have a setting on in my Active Sky which I turned on quite quickly when I realised, which is I think a lot of people are having issues with. There's a setting in Active Sky which says depict CB as thunderstorms. Now that means as soon as you have METAR saying CB, you have thunderstorms everywhere in the sim. It's quite unrealistic, and I had that quite I noticed that quite early on, so I actually have that disabled, which is why I don't have so many thunderstorms. But if I have a thunderstorm depicted on the METAR, then I'll get the thunderstorms there.
Just expedite through 180.
So we're going to do standard hold, Daros right hand turns, 105.
Neptune 09,
minute and a half legs.
until you reach 180 to
and we'll
be
execute
separated
that.
from the incoming.
There's the hold, and what we're going to do now, we're level at 190, no point holding at 284 knots, you'll find the aircraft will struggle anyway, we'll bring the speed back to the best hold speed. That's not modelled yet in the ZIBO mod, but we'll do 220. And there we go.
Your cleared level is 170.
Traffic below the hold as well, 500 feet. Entering the hold at Daros.
Turkish 5-3, radar service is terminated.
This is why I'm only doing one sector, because usually the VATSIM events are very busy.
130.2
Now I know there's a really cool map available in X-Plane 11 which shows you all the other traffic on VATSIM, but that did cause me a crash not so long ago. I'm refusing to use it, but you can see there is other aircraft holding in. There is the VATSIM map available. Don't know if we can see him though. He's just behind us. Can you see him, guys? I have the labels off in X-Pilot as well, so again improves the realism slightly.
Unit 248, call you back for descent shortly. Neptune 09 Hotel, turn right, direct Daros, follow Bonek 1 Romeo.
Akri, yes, you did the cross the pond in the Concorde. I got your message and stuff. It was awesome. You did that.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, descent flight level 170.
Descent flight level 170, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha.
Alpaca 22 Golf, descent.
So when you're in the hold, ATC would expect at least 1,000 feet per minute. Unless they specifically request and say can I have a lower rate of descent, but that's fine for us. I don't expect a huge amount of delay. And there we are, entering the hold at Daros. ZIBO MOD is one of the best holding aircraft in desktop sim, does it all perfectly. Direct parallel, teardrop entry, it knows exactly what to do.
Aviator 1323, Nicosia radar identified. Sir, expect runway 22 at Larnaca, Bonek 1 Romeo. Confirm, are you deviating?
Negative.
Oh, everyone's waving at Adam. So cool.
So I'm gonna be taking manual heading.
Zurich.
Fabio Hansi holding speed 240 knots.
At the Larnaca,
Yeah, you're right actually. Above 14,000 feet, the normal holding speed's 240. Maximum up to 280 in turbulent conditions. I mean, just to save a bit of fuel, I'll do 230, but I mean, they're not necessarily restrictions. Then below 14,000 feet, normal holding speed's 230, but these are not mandatory speeds. Kind of recommended. But 14,000 feet is the crossover between minute and a half legs, 230 to normal speeds, and above 14,000 feet up to 240. They're the only figures I remember. Above 14,000 is two others, but if you're holding it above 34,000 feet, it's like Mach 0.80 or something crazy.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, descent flight level 150.
Descent flight level 150, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Right, 150 set.
Neptune 09 Hotel, continue for the Bonek 1 Romeo and contact Larnaca approach.
Jambino, how did you program that hold into the FMC? If you play back the video by 2 minutes, but I have a tutorial just for that. If you type in Jambino flight deck in YouTube search, flight deck to sim holding tutorial. I did one in the PMDG, works exactly the same. I got the ATC call message, I realised. Thanks guys.
Alpaca 84 Yankee, descent flight level 250.
Yeah, so if you've come into the stream a bit late, there's a bit of a delay with the stream today. It's completely my fault. I forgot to set the latency to the lower setting, so there is a delay between me talking and you hearing of about 25 seconds when it's usually only 10, which is why I'm a bit late with your comments. It's a real pain. Sorry, I've completely forgot about that today. Wicked. Love you guys though, chat on the ball there. ATC quarters. That's what I really like though. You guys are my essentially all sat next to me in the right hand seat as first officers. Albeit it takes 30 seconds to communicate the message. I do get it eventually. Anyway, are over Cyprus now, albeit completely night time. High terrain there, look, 6,699 feet.
Alpaca 22 Golf, hold over Daros, descent flight level 210.
Descent flight level 210 and hold over Daros, Alpaca 22 Golf.
Holding over Thanos.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, descent flight level 130.
Descent flight level 130, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. So 130 set.
Alpaca 84 Yankee, hold over Daros, descent flight level 230.
Are you a real streamer?
Descent flight level 230, hold over Daros, Alpaca 84 Yankee.
LGAV Bravo, descent flight level 270.
270, LGAV Bravo.
Oh, SK, very kind. Despite the delay, you're still the best at what you do. Oh, thanks, SK. Bloodline Ultimate Viewer Participation. Matt Haynes bank angle. Oh, yes. Matt Haynes, 10 out of 10. Natalie Stevens, hello, I'm you. Good day to you. Welcome aboard. Jason Kilmer, hi Captain, how do you set the aircraft up to use the flight director as guidance when flying manually? So you need to be very busy on the MCP. If you're wanting to have the flight directors on to provide the guidance, you need to make sure the MCP is being updated to as you want. So, for example, you'd have to come up here on the MCP exactly now. Now, if I was to disconnect everything and fly manually, yeah, the flight directors are going to still give me the correct guidance. The autopilot is just simply following the flight directors. But you've got to be busy on the MCP to make sure you get the correct guidance.
Are you deviating due to weather?
Still on course, but request deviation.
So everyone's deviating from weather except me. That's definitely my active sky settings.
Expect holding over Daros. Report clear.
I'm going to have a look at the real weather radar here. The Windy app is a good app I'd recommend.
Out of the conflict. 3160.
Quality 2 Tango Charlie, descent flight level 150.
So weather radar. Oh yeah, there is thunderstorms and heavy weather. Actually, right where we are, there's a thunderstorm, according to Windy. So that's actually pretty realistic. I'm tempted to put that CB setting back on in active sky.
Runway 22 at Larnaca, Bonek 1 Romeo.
Let's try it. I'm tempting fate here, that's for sure. God. Simulator depiction options, cloud options. Prevent thunderstorms when CB reported. Now, if I untick this box, see what happens now. Know what? That's actually a little bit better. Because I reckon Active Sky have changed that setting. Right, so you notice...
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, exit holding, follow Bonek 1 Romeo.
Exit holds, follow Bonek 1 Romeo, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Now this would be really interesting to know here. Exit armed, so that means after Daros it will proceed
Alpaca
to
1
Atlas.
Lima Alpha, Larnaca approach 130.2, radar service is terminated.
130.2, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Thanks a lot for the great ATC, sir. Good night.
Alpaca 22 Golf.
There we go. Right, top tip for you guys. Alright, I think Active Sky have changed their settings because I have just now in Active Sky settings unticked the prevent thunderstorms with CB reported. Now, I turned that setting off some time ago. The reason was we just had blobs of CBs everywhere. That is a lot better now. I think they've updated that to be a little less random sporadic, to being actually a little bit more realistic. We're getting some light turbulence as well, so top tip now, guys. I mean, it's a little bit more of an analysis, I guess, but you can now, in Active Sky, yeah, that prevent thunderstorms when CB reported, I've unticked that, and that's a little bit more with the unstable air. I think that's a bit more realistic of the situation. Very cool. I'm going to make a note about that. Spread the word, everyone. We'll check if we approach.
Windmill of 100 Lima, the wind 360 degrees 7 knots, runway 22, clear takeoff.
That's much better. The stability, air stability is a bit more realistic.
Descend now altitude 4,000 and expect approach time 53.
Ah, that's not bad. I hope that's not 2053. Larnaca approach, good evening, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, maintaining flight level 130 on the Bonek 1 Romeo inbound to Atlas.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, Calspera Larnaca approach via Bonek 1 Romeo, descent altitude 6,000, QNH 1009.
On the Bonek 1 Romeo, descent altitude 6,000 feet, QNH 1009 at Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, expect ILS X-ray runway 22.
Expect ILS X-ray for 22, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. 6,000 feet is set, QNH 1010. We're just going to go vertical speed 1,000 feet per minute. The reason again is VNAV's going to dive us down. Passing altitude 12,900, 6,000 feet. No flag, standby altimeter is set. I cannot believe that, guys. That setting in Active Sky has made it so much more realistic now. So much more realistic. It's been dulling the weather in my sim for so long. It's a little bit... Oh yeah, look at that. With a bit of unstable air thunderstorms around, that's what I'd expect. Superb. Turn down to the ice is on because we're in a little bit of moist air. And you can see now we've got a little bit more weather depicted. Far more realistic now. That's much better. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's much better. But there's nothing here that's saying, look, we can't fly through that. Oh, QNH 1009, well spotted. Excellent work, first officers. 11,906,000 checks. So you can see Larnaca ahead, there's the approach lights as well. I should think we can anticipate some holding, even though we've not been advised. We're going to keep it descending here at 1,000 feet per minute. You know what, I'm just going to go level change just because if we do get straight out for the approach, which I don't think will happen, we'll be a bit high for that. I don't want to ask the guy because he's super busy at the moment. But in real life, I'd be like, yeah, ask him straight away. Can we expect holding? Blocked.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, descent altitude 4,000.
So now altitude 4,000 feet, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. So 4,000 feet set. Yeah, we'll keep it in level change at 230 here, because if we have to go straight out, I have to quickly get the flaps out. Been good though, guys. I get a chance, I'll ask if we can anticipate a delay.
Reduce final approach speed, Alpha 7 Papa Romeo.
That's a 9 hotel, we can leave hold now and clear for LSX.
So someone's in the hold. So actually, you know what, I'm not going to go too crazy because we can anticipate holding if there's other aircraft holding there. Atlantic approach Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, can we anticipate holding this evening?
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, expect holding Lima Charlie Alpha at altitude 4,000, expect approach time on the hour.
As copied, hold at Larnaca and approach time on the hour, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Absolutely perfect. How have I commented recently on streams how controllers are lacking estimated approach times? Brilliant. Hold at Larnaca, estimated approach time in 6 minutes. Fantastic. That's exactly the information we want to hear in real life. Brilliant. First time I've actually got an estimated approach time from a VATSIM controller. Right, so hold. Next hold, Larnaca. That is 041. Right hand turns. Just about a direct entry from this heading. Execute, 1 minute legs. It's in. Actually, that's not in. ZIBO, why is that depicted like this? That should not be depicted like that. No, ZIBO, I'm to blame. Right, when it is a fault, it's 99% my fault, usually. I put the wrong radial in. Ah! ZIBO, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Beautiful mod. Right, holds in. Keep it descending. 2,000 feet. In fact, we're going to go vertical speed 1,000 because we're going to go at least once around the hold. Let's bring the speed back to around 220. And everything's good here. Entering the hold. Chris Curtin, top tip: avoid holding by declaring emergency. I stand against that, but Lara International Airways follow that procedure. Look at that aircraft look on the approach landing in runway 22. Oh, look at the lighting effects as well. Super cool. Just jumping out the flight deck for that. Look at that. It's so good. It's a colleague of ours just touching down. Guys, if you just turned in active sky, turn your settings, turn off the prevent CBs. Thunderstorms without CBs there. So much better. Look how quick he was to blame it on ZIBO. I know, Michael, that's really embarrassing. Poor ZIBO. It's me getting my numbers in the wrong order. Awesome. So here we're coming into the hold. And probably, hopefully, once around the hold and then straight outbound. Maybe I'd expect it to fly a little bit more straight on before turning right. I think it's just attempting to make that inbound turn.
Are you ready for immediate?
Cool. And you can see the needle spinning around, look, as you fly over the VOR. Oh, need to do the post-cruise checks as well. Fuel 4 pumps. And we have 5 tons on board. And we need 3.5, I think it was, to divert, so we've got at least 30 minutes. Logos on, AP's off, pressurisation. Now, it's done it again. The aircraft's rapidly depressurised, look. It should not be at 0 diff pressure, cabin altitude of 7,000 feet. That is incorrect. So, there's something going on in the mod at the moment where it's depressurising the aircraft at low altitude, which is it's better than at 37,000 feet, but it should not.
Okay, 1 Lima Alpha on the next turn, leave holding Lima Charlie Alpha, cleared for ILS X-ray, runway 22.
Once inbound to Lima Charlie Alpha, we're cleared outbound on ILS X-ray, runway 22, out back at 1 Lima Alpha. Cool. That ATC is just phenomenal, this guy. I really want to let him know how great it was. So once we're on the hold outbound, as per the estimated approach time on the hour, flawless. Right, let's do the... Wow, yes! That setting is so much better in X-Plane. Look at this. It's 13 degrees. I don't need the settings off. Wow, so much better. This is much more realistic. Listen to that. Pressurization then is broken. We've discussed seatbelt sign is on. Should have done all recall checks complete. So yeah, just to highlight again, guys, active sky settings. And I've had this. They've definitely fixed it. There's a setting under cloud options. Prevent thunderstorms when CB reported. Make sure that is unticked now. Prevent thunderstorms when CB reported unticked. So much better. Now I think if I get actual thunderstorms, it'll be a lot worse. But that looks, with that rain and a little bit of light turbulence, great.
J903 actually stopped for climb now 3,000.
So what I'm going to actually do here, ATC would typically expect you to 1,000 feet per minute, but I'm just going to shallow that off slightly, because I don't want to level off. And I'd probably advise ATC if that's the case. Now, I don't think there's anyone ahead of us on the approach. Yeah. Oh, someone's gone around. 2,000 feet, that's a low stop altitude. Biggie Weavy. Oh, I love it. He's even asking the reason for the go around, just like real life.
Ran at 417, clear to land runway 22, then wind 360 degrees 7 knots.
Amazing.
Clear land runway 22, runway 417.
Checked.
29, descent altitude 2000, cleared.
It's a little bit bumpy in the
ILS Papa runway 22.
cabin today. Are you an active Sky employee? Great little setting there, now I've discovered it. Anyway, I misheard, what was his reason for the go around?
GN903, expect higher in 10 miles.
This guy's got plenty of capacity, he's just rocking. Inbound Llama Charlie Alpha. Llama Charlie Alpaca, you mean, super groovy. Amazing, guys.
Alpaca 5 Whiskey Romeo, proceed direct to Lima Kilo 522 and expect the ILS Papa now, runway 22.
Oh, someone's got an ILS Papa. Ah, that's the guy that went around, so obviously he doesn't want him going back towards the hold, and then he's going to position him for a different ILS.
Alpaca 5 Whiskey Romeo, proceed direct to Lima Kilo 522, expect ILS Papa.
Captain Jack, does the ski brain effect work now? It doesn't. So I'm going to level off at 4,000, that's not a big issue, and then we're just going to descend from 4,000 feet. We would have leveled off a bit sooner had I not reduced the rate descent, but that's not, that's the minimum holding altitude, that's completely fine. And we can now exit hold.
6,000 feet holding on
You can see that we're 3,000 feet now on profile, but no issues.
GN903, climb flight level 110.
Oh look, that's interesting. So if actually someone goes around, that's why the stop altitude is 2,000 feet. Does that make sense now, guys? That's why they have climb straight ahead, stop at 2,000 feet. That's because there's aircraft holding at 4,000. Look at that. Look at the aircraft on the approach. And that's why you sometimes might be asking, why is the stop altitude just 2,000 feet? That's the reason. Stopping crashing into the aircraft into the hold. How cool is that? Number one, number two. Outstanding. Now, it looks like they've got more than one aircraft on the approach at the time. Whether that's approved in Larnaca, I'm not sure. Unusual for a procedural approach, but if he's got the capacity, why not? This scene is from Just Sim, by the way, guys. Amazing. Quick poll here in chat, guys. General consensus. What's better right now? X-Plane 11 flying commercial airliners on VATSIM or Microsoft Flight Simulator? I think we know the answer to that one. It'll come, but this is awesome. Wicked. Right, outbound for the procedural approach then. We'll fly initially at the up speed. VNAV profile's coming in. VNAV should hold your profile quite nicely on a procedural approach if it's been programmed in correctly, which it should do. Monkey 380, I've just passed over your house right now. Fantastic. How's the weather? Is it very much depicted like this? I thought you'd say that. Answer depends. Correct. If you want to have a nice little GA jolly, we all know what wins there. But right now for this, it's just Sim. And that is what you're going to primarily get on this channel. There we are. Outbound. So again, we'll maintain 4,000 until we've captured that profile. We can now descend to 1,500 feet, so we're outbound. So let's set 1,500 feet. Being cleared approach. I'm just going to wait for that VNAV profile to come in. But it doesn't look pretty. True. Euro Truck Simulator.
Continue approach, wind check, 360 degrees.
Bjorn FS 2009. Right, here comes the VNAV profile anyway. VNAV. Speed windows open. Now what I should have done is report to ATC outbound from the procedure now. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha is outbound from Lima Charlie Alpha for ILS X-Ray 22.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, Roger, descend according to profile.
We'll go Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. This guy. I mean, if there's a look at that thunder in the background as well, lightning. This guy is phenomenal. What a controller! It's just so much capacity. Brilliant. Wicked. So VNAV profile's coming in. It should have really levelled off first on this stage here instead of doing 1,000 feet per minute, but it is capturing here VNAV speed. Well, yeah, true. It should actually go. It should, when I select flap 1, go to VNAV path. There we are. So VNAV path. Yeah, it kicks it into the approach logic when you select flaps, or I think it's the approach logic, but it should stay in VNAV path. There's been some changes to the FMC with recent updates, but as soon as you select flaps to 1, it'll force it into VNAV path to follow the profile. So that was actually correct. It was actually in VNAV speed before. So select flap 1. We're then going to comply with that speed restriction, maximum 200 knots. I'm just going to hold it at flap 1 at this speed here, and this should put us nicely left turn onto the ILS on profile, roughly. So we're turning there. Here comes the rain again. Just incredible. Looks brilliant. It's incredibly dark, so it is night. It is incredibly dark in real life as well. Bit of a tailwind on the approach. So VNAV's just updated. It should be level. It shouldn't climb here. I'm not sure why it's just updated there. We haven't done the approach checks. So, ooh, crikey. It's a good job we did. So we still have the VR tuned. ILS. Let's go flap 5. Ooh, hold on. So approach checks, ILS is identified, India Lima Charlie, 221 checked, courses as well. And just like that, boom, on the glide slope. 10 out of 10 ZIBO, 10 out of 10 ATC, it's just been perfect. Right, kid approach armed, flap 5 set, with the tailwind, you want to get flaps out nice and early. And that's it. VNAV correctly programmed will put you smack bang on the glide slope. Here comes localizer, glide slope capture. Lovely. Runway heading 221. Missed approach altitude, remember, just 2,000 feet.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, reduce final approach speed to departure ahead.
Reduce final approach speed, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. He's the boss. So, gear down, flap 15, match speed, landing checklist flap. So a little bit earlier, but he needs to get 2 departures away. Right. Start switches continuous, recall checked, speed brake arm, green light, landing gear down, 3 green, order brake is set to 2, we're below 175 knots, so you can select flat 30. So flaps, we have 30 green light, landing lights, just waiting for our landing clearance, so we just 2 departures ahead. We've been waiting on our landing clearance now, but the aircraft is fully configured and we're at our final approach speed. Look at this, air is so much more unstable, much more realistic, guys. It's getting a little bit stagnant in the sim, I thought, recently, and that was because of a silly setting in active sky in these conditions. Rain starting and stopping, beautiful.
Alpaca 5 Whiskey Romeo, reduce speed 160 knots.
So, in the event of a go-around, guys, we'll push toga. Go around, immediately select flat 15, set ground thrust, pause radar climb, gear up 400 feet. We're going to engage LNAV. We are going to fly to the NDB, but it is programmed correctly. And left turn inbound to Bosis, just holding at 2,000 feet. Nice, no stop altitude. Is Boga mode active? No Boga today, guys. It's not a Sunday. Right, I'll just match my thrust up here. What's the situation here? Oh, he's lining up. It could be tight. I have full faith. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Late landing clearance. He's just lining up. He's just taking off now.
Ryanair 2 Kilo Fox, report passing 9,000.
Report passing 9,000, Ryanair 2 Kilo Fox.
11904. That's the ground frequency. I think he's timed it perfectly. He's just lining up now. He's got his takeoff clearance. He's going to start rolling. It's perfect. Right, disconnecting autopilot. Disconnect the auto throttle. So I am flying now. Just waiting for that landing clearance. Hopefully starts rolling. If not, they'll be told to stop and I'll have to go around. Oh, it's bumpy. I'm having to make quite a few inputs. Speed's getting a bit low here. He's rolling.
Alpaca 5 Whiskey Romeo, reduce final approach speed.
So 3 whites. Just making that correction now. Around 1,000 feet per minute. There we are, back on profile. He's just rotated.
Approaching minimums.
Waiting for our landing clearance.
200.
Need our landing clearance. Landing clearance.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, clear to land runway 22, 340 degrees 8 knots.
Right, 22 clear to land. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha.
50, 40, 30,
Check.
20,
Close.
10.
Order off. Oh my goodness, I've been floating all day. Oh, it's another putter. Oh, yes. Speed brakes up, reverse. What a float, though. That was a long landing. Dear. Wow. Speed brakes up. Versus 74%. Manual braking. Oh dear, oh dear. Why is my brakes not working? I'm not joking. I've got full brakes and it's not slowing down. Why is that not working? Retreat. My brakes are not working at all. Right, I'm going to have to use the parking brake. Why is that? It was working on the taxi out. I've still got the reversers out. I need them. I'm not braking. What the world? I'm going to have to use the parking brake to stop here. That's a glitch in the sim. Well, interesting. My brakes have stopped working. I'm literally holding the trigger down and it's doing nothing. Thank God it's not a short runway. I've got... No, it's completely not working. Is there another command? I'm going to have to use the parking brake to stop. This would never happen, but... I can't brake. I just have to use the parking brake. Very unrealistic, but it's just not working.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, on the ground 119.4, bye.
Ground 119.4, Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. Outstanding ATC, mate. Bye-bye.
Thank you much, appreciate it.
Wicked. Right, well, brakes are completely not working. It's releasing the parking brake, look. But when I actually hold the trigger down... Look. Holding the trigger down... It's actually stopping now, isn't it? Yeah, of course. Fantastic. Brilliant. 10 out of 10. They've just started working. Honestly, on the rollout, it wasn't working at all. Ground's active. Larnaca ground, good day. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha. It's just vacated runway 22 at the end.
Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, hello. Continue taxi right on Charlie Victor, Lima Bravo, gate 23.
Charlie Victor in via Lima Bravo for gate 23. Alpaca 1 Lima Alpha, thank you. Right, anyway, let's stop blocking the ends of the runway. We're going to make this right turn here onto Charlie. Try B for brakes. Yeah, well, it's working now. Yeah, it's working fine. I have no idea what was going on. I need to practice that because thank God it was a long runway. If we'd landed at Leeds or a short runway, we got off the end. Brakes weren't working at all. And now they're working fine. Trigger. They're working, but they don't seem to be very effective. Oh well. Right, let's clean up. We're down. Minus 30. Maybe the brakes are punishing me because of the butter. Yeah, it's definitely... I'm full brakes here. It's very slow to brake. Some settings change. Well, the only thing I've changed is active sky. I don't think that should affect my braking performance unless it's taking into account the runway's wet. But again, it shouldn't be that bad. Who knows? Taxi instructions then. Oh, try not to go on the grass. Yeah, it's definitely the braking effectiveness has decreased significantly. I mean, unrealistically poor. Next left here is Victor. Yeah, definitely something's changed in the settings. Before we'll log off, we'll have a look at the settings and explain because something's definitely amiss here. Stand 23 then. Right at the end here. There it is, stand 23. Get the AP up and running. Brilliant. What a fly that was. Perfect. Everything was perfect. Apart from going off the end of the runway. Nearly, with the brakes have cooked or something. I don't know what's going on. Look at a stand 23. As I said, the scenery here is from Justin. You can see much of it. It's a bit of a night. And next right for stand 23. Yeah, definitely. That's full brakes, and it's just not slowing down. But on the rollout there was no deceleration. I left the reverse thrust in until about 40 knots. It was like the braking action was very poor. Oh, you... Unbelievable. Do you see that? These Greek ground controllers. It's actually all flight sim ground controllers are great. Ground crew are crazy. Right, it says 738. A little bit left of centre line. Oh, still left of centre line. Oh dear. My brakes, no. they're cooked. They're cooked though. Nothing's working. I'm just going to back up slightly. This is unapproved. It's just because the air bridge won't work properly. Stop. There we go. Right, parking brake is now set. We shouldn't be moving anywhere. APU's available. So 2 blues, 1 red. Engine's dead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Larnaca. In the thunderstorms, in the rain. Another successful Alpaca Airways flight. Is the air bridge going to come over? No, it's not. That's sad times. Bit early to turn the anti-coal off, but is that going to get the air bridge to come over? It's not. Boo. We made it though anyway. Could it be the wet tarmac? I don't know. If that was simulating wet tarmac, it's the braking action was not good, which is what you'd say with wet. You can still brake pretty effectively. I mean, with the amount of braking which I was using and full braking and the rate of deceleration, that's a braking action of poor. So you're talking an ice, snow-covered runway with the rate of deceleration I was getting. Wow. I mean, had we done that on a... I mean, this is a 3,000 meter runway. We floated considerably as well. And then, obviously, that didn't help the landing distance, but we were lucky. I mean, that was all reverse thrust, which was slowing us down, especially the last 400-500 meters. Really reliant on that. And that is why good learning tip here. You do not stow the reversers until the quoting here is stopping is assured. So 60 knots, don't just stow them. You never know. There could be a patch of ice or a patch of very slippy when wet part of the runway.
50,
You
40,
only stow those reversers.
30,
so that means it doesn't go to
20,
idle, go to idle.
10.
But only put them away when you're 100% happy you're going to stop on the runway. Thanks a lot, Matsy, for the €3 with the pair. Saying fist bump. Thank you very much, buddy. Wicked. Just before we oh, congratulations, sporting on the same stand. You win today's prize of well, I'm not going to use that word, but fantastic. We'll log off VATSIM anyway. Thanks a lot to the ground controller as well. Just stop some idiots there. So yeah, did someone just power back Kieran? Yeah, might have done. Just before we do anything, let's have a look at the settings here for the parking brakes. I really want to know what happened there. No, it's not that one. Joystick. Hold brakes maximum. It's still the same. I've always had it the same assignment, and it's working because it was definitely stopping the aircraft. I have no clue. Maybe it is active sky and the fact it's a wet runway, but something was amiss. I want to fix that before I go flying in the mod again. I mean, it was crazy. Not seen that. Weather radar. Oops, sorry to all the ground controllers who's got a nice dose of X-ray. Gamma ray. Oh look, that. Okay, ground power's just now become available after turning the weather radar off. Interesting. Listerman says 10 out of 10 would fear of death after touchdown again. Yeah. Check and assign the trigger to hold max brake effort rather than regular effort on the options. I think that might help. I have that setting, Monkey 380. It was just on there. Don't use the foot brakes. I don't like the foot brakes on the Cytec rudder pedals. It's just you can't get the feel for it. There's no feedback, so I have it disabled completely. List them in failures? I don't think so, because it is working. Look, I mean, I can check, but I think I have it still disabled from across the pond. No failed systems, unless it's a ZIBO failure. But I don't think it has anything to cause issues with brakes or wheels. Systems isn't modelled yet. Who knows? Who knows? X-Plane has a habit of turning on random failures. Good place to check. Just check that's not the issue. Could have been anything. Well, I'm going to end the stream anyway. I'll have a quick play. I'm just going to stick it at 4 miles. Well, you know what, guys? Do you want to just do something really non-standard for a stream? We always try and end it there. But do you want me to just stick it at 4 miles, do a quick test landing, see if it works? And we'll call it a day. No doubt you'd like to see that. Alright, let's bring up that... Oh, look, it hasn't crashed the sim. But just to show you how the ZIBO mod works. There's our first hold, look. Beautifully orchestrated. There's that second hold. There's the procedural approach. I mean, it's just... Look at that turn. It's just perfection. Lama International Airlines sabotage? Possibly. Let me just make it daytime. So let's go to flight configuration, customize. Let's put that to no longer tracking live time. Let's just put that to 12. Done. Apply. Look at that. Oh, my eyes. Right, and what I'm going to do is very non-standard. I'm just going to stick it on a 10-mile final. In fact, I better get the engines running first. So what I'll do is flight configuration, change location. No, we don't want to go back to GAV. We want to go to Larnaca. 2-2, 10-mile final. And what this will do, it'll put the aircraft in the wrong configuration, completely high. It'll be a right mess. But I just want to see if what was causing that issue. Start new flight. Let's leave the live weather on. See what happens. It's like an encore captain, Lunchbox says. Absolutely. Have you ever ran into an ATC tower? Said Liam Castro. Negative. Oh, I'm not watching. Oh, great. Yeah, fantastic. Well, the mod is dead. let's just do that again. Did I forget to tick the yes? That reloaded very quick. I'm impressed with the load time. I was too busy looking at chat and I just heard this kind of droning air noise. There we go, right. Have I got some controls? I do. Right, let's quickly... So this is the way I test the mod sometimes. You just literally whack it in here. It should keep the ILS tuned. Let's get the gear down. Go straight to flaps 30. Right, gears down. ILS localizer coming in. I'll do a nice little raw data approach, but I just want to check the stopping performance again. We're going to go water brake 3. Speed brakes armed. That's a good point. I think the ZIBO mod is now feather light, because I think it just reloads it empty. So let's... I'm just going to quickly... Flight directors on. Approach. Right. Let's get the command. I'm just going to get the autopilot in, auto throttle here, because I just need to quickly increase that weight again, otherwise it won't really replicate the weight of the aircraft. So, fuel, payload, passengers... 175. Enter. Oh, nothing to see here. That's very realistic though. So it's flying the ILS. I won't put anything in the FMC. That's why we have no V speeds or anything here. But the aircraft will follow the guidance. What was our approach speed on that first sector? Can't remember. Turn off first software toolkit pro. But yeah, this is just a test. I have no idea. I just want to find out why it's not stopping. So I'm going to leave the auto brake in like we did and monitor to see if it's actually braking. Why is the auto throttle not increasing speed for us? Had to get stick shaken. Oh, because speed wasn't engaged. Should engage in speed. I don't know why speed wasn't engaged. Seems looking great in this rain. Alright, let's try this. 152 was it, Bloodline? Thank you. About where we are now. Nice little encore. Don't usually do this. I like to complete the flight and call it a day. So you got until 800 feet RA to arm the auto land. I'm not going to do it, I'm going to disconnect anyway. Mystic YouTube, how can I get the Alpaca Airways livery? Use the command ! livery. Guys, if you join the encore, smash that thumbs up button, see if we get 500 likes before the end of the stream. Checked. I've got no minimum set or anything, remember, this is just a test run. Just find out why on earth it wasn't slowing down. Do you want to test the ZIBO mod auto land? I should think by the time you've responded, we will have touched down. Someone's just tuned in just in time for the landing. He doesn't know any idea, Air 88. We're just testing, buddy.
400.
Let's check the ZIBO mod auto land. It probably won't float anywhere near as much as me. He's having to deal with a tailwind and crosswind as well. But the ZIBO mod auto land is very good now. Centre line's bang on.
200.
Approach is looking good.
Approaching minimums.
Come on, ZIBO, you can do it.
100.
Flare.
30.
It's going to be firm. Oh, ZIBO. Oh, lovely auto land. Right, so auto brake 3. That's not really. Let me just put it to max. No, that would be a lot quicker. Auto brake's not working. Now, I don't know if this is a ZIBO thing. Let me just put the auto brake 2 off. Yeah, it's definitely making an input. I think it's not ZIBO. I think it's the brake. So let me just start braking manually. Yeah, I'm braking fully manually. It is slowing down. It's increasing. Look at the green arrow. Let go of it, and it is decreasing now. So there is the brakes are working, but the braking action is very poor. So this is an X-plane. I'm gonna have to go full reverse now. Look. I'm gonna have to use the high-speed exit. Full brakes. The brakes are working because I can see the arrow moving. You can't sense that rate of deceleration, obviously, which you do in real life, but the brake effectiveness is decreased considerably. And I don't think this is a ZIBO thing. I think this is an X-plane texture, something. The brakes are working, but the effectiveness of them is pants. They're working, but just not well. It's like there's half the power there. But anyway, we've tested it. We've tested it. Smashing auto land from the ZIBO mods. Oh no! You know what's happened? Oh, can I still replay from the original flight? Well, that's why I never do the encore. What's going to happen if I go all the way back? Oh, I can only do the replay for that auto land. I'm so sorry, guys. Well, we'll enjoy that. That's why I never do encores, because we can't actually see the original landing. And we're not using the usual replay music. But yeah, really interesting to find out. I changed the setting in Active Sky. The only other thing I can think of, the only setting I changed was the Active Sky CB. So I reckon it could be X-Plane's depiction of a wet runway. So what I'm just going to do is one more thing. Is go back to my Active Sky settings. And I'm going to turn back on prevent thunderstorms when CB is reported, apply changes. There we go. So the Active Sky is now updated. So what I can do here is go pause, flight, and is it reset flight path? That's it. Oh, there we are. So we'll just try it from here, guys. And see if that's made a difference. And it could be just X-Plane's depiction of a wet runway. That's just a bug because we've reloaded at this point.
400.
Yeah, that shouldn't be sounding right now. Yeah, sorry you guys are just kind of watching me do a kind of test sector in the ZIBO. I mean, I'm doing this stuff all the time when I'm not streaming. Yeah, that's spurious.
Minimums.
Where's my run out call-outs? That's still got a butter. Right, let's have a look at this. Much better. It's the Active Sky setting. My goodness. Right, I'm holding max braking. Yeah, that's made all the difference. So turning on
80 knots.
Active Sky setting. Look at that. I'm stopping no problem now. So just to show you here on my... How can I get you to see this here? So basically the setting in Active Sky, unticking the prevent thunderstorm when CB reported box affects the braking action at X-Plane 11. Now I reckon this is preventing me from having a dry wet runway, but if that's the case, X-Plane 11's depiction of a wet runway, the stopping performance is very unrealistic. It's far too slippy. So I'm gonna load the weather back in. Let's see if the runway textures change. So here comes the weather. He says. I think it's already loaded in, but the stopping performance is completely different. That's so strange. So literally a setting in Active Sky, prevent thunderstorms when CB reported, is affecting the braking action on the runway. Here's brakes. Yeah, I mean look at that, it's full brakes and it's just not. That's so strange. What? Now what's the link there? I don't think that's Active Sky causing that. But the prevent thunderstorms when CB reported, unticking that, so that means you get the CBs in the sim, which I guess is giving X-Plane a wet runway, is causing a huge impact on the stopping performance. I mean, the stopping performance, guys, to put it this way, it's really poor, as if you're going to run off the end of the runway here. Now, is there a way to check the settings in X-Plane to see what the braking action is? I swear you can change that. Oh, we're going to come flight deck to fix soon. I swear one of these... Runway conditions, wet uniform. Alright, let me just untick that now, or tick that box again. So prevent thunderstorms when CB is reported. Apply change to the weather. There we go. So that's now reloaded. Let's have a look at the settings in X-Plane 11 again. Flight configuration, change. No, it was weather, wasn't it? Screw that. Dry. There you go. So this issue with the settings in active sky. So prevent thunderstorms when CBE reported, ticking that's great, but X-Plane's depiction of runway wetness is very unrealistic. I mean, the stopping performance here is crazy, but I really like that setting now. So having a wet runway, or when active sky tells X-Plane, I guess, to use a wet runway, let's just turn it back on here just to double check, but let's again apply changes. There we are. So we now have a wet runway again in the sim, and that has changed the settings in X-Plane 11 to wet uniform. And that braking action, guys, with wet uniform now is not, it's awful. That is a noticeable effect on our runway performance, our stopping performance here. A wet runway, yes, of course, the stopping performance is less than a dry runway, but it's still very good. You know, you're probably adding an extra 200 to 300 meters to your stopping distance with a typical auto brake setting. But that's really interesting. I can't believe we actually got to the bottom of that, just a bit of probing. But yeah, I think this is an X-Plane 11 issue. Obviously, having the setting in active sky, which is giving me CBs, which is giving me a wet runway in the sim, is making X-Plane 11 go, right, you've now got a runway condition that's wet, but that is giving me a stopping performance which isn't wet. It's the equivalent of poor, medium to poor. I mean, you saw there, I mean, full brakes. I mean, I'll just hit non-standard. Let's just get up to 60 knots now. And then brake, full brakes. I mean, full brakes on the aircraft is brutal. Nope, need a bit of left rudder here. Run out of runway again. Right, so there's 60 knots. Just let the I don't get threshold. Right, full brakes. Full brakes. Still not slowing down. Now we're slowing down. Full brake. This is full brakes. Maximum stopping power here, and it's just pants. I mean, this is the equivalent of a snow-covered runway. This is a runway covered in snow right now. That's full brakes. Full brakes still, full brakes. Yeah, and that depiction of the runway is just wet. So I think that's an X-Plane. I think X-Plane need to change the settings here. For this depiction of... Oh, where on earth is it? Yeah, wet uniform here. What options do you have? Manually configured. Wet. So they've got dry, damp, and wet. Their depiction of wet is completely off. I guess damp is okay, dry is fine, but when it's on wet, it's like snow or ice. it's not great. So they need to fix that. Especially if I want to have this new setting in active sky. But that's really interesting for me to have actually streamed that long. I think this prevent thunderstorm when CB reporting, it stops generating a wet runway in X-Plane 11. Well, there you go. Learn something new every day. But guys, I hope you enjoyed that sort of... I didn't plan any of this. I just really want to get down to the bottom of the fact that we nearly skidded off the end of the runway there. And the only setting I changed was the active sky prevents CBs from forming. I turned that off, so we did get CBs, which triggered a wet runway in X-Plane 11, and a wet runway in X-Plane 11 makes you nearly go off the end of the runway. It makes the braking action absolutely atrocious. Right, anyway, I'll call that the end of the day. I hope you found that interesting anyway, a little debriefing there. Let's turn off the calm reflecting music, and we'll enjoy then a little replay in unusual situations. A little bit of a different ending to the normal stream, but yeah, glad to have got to the bottom of that. I'm sure some of you, and I would appreciate if any of you rattle off an email to X-Plane or Active Sky to look into it. I will as well, and hopefully they'll get it fixed. Right, there we are. Funky music engaged. You've got 5 minutes of replay available. I don't think this is going to be much of a replay. It starts from there, guys. Alright, well, just before I press play, I'll sign you out right there. Well, thank you very much to all the moderators helping run the stream, to all the members again. Thanks for all the continued support as well as members. Really appreciate it as well. Next live stream, definitely at least one this weekend. We might even do a bit of Euro Truck Simulator tomorrow. We'll see. We have no plans. We're still in lockdown here in the UK. But again, to all my regular subscribers and viewers as well, thanks a lot for coming on and enjoying the rides. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that flight from Athens to Larnaca. Guys, stay safe out there, and I'll see you all again very soon. This will be a very short replay. Good night from me. Bye-bye.